I'm disappointed in every one of you.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to offend you.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
I kiss you on the mouth.
No, I'm not cool with that. I'm sorry.
One more time.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
I mean, I'm dealing with degenerate animals.
I'm disappointed in every one of you. Disappointed in every one of you.
All right, come on.
Honestly, I can't do it, man.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
Let me tell you why.
It's gonna be alright, Nicky. Go ahead, shoot.
You just killed a little fucking man.
What are you going to do about it?
Yeah, because you got nothing. You don't got a thing. Yeah, because you got nothing. Lobito! Got nothing.
I want to get out of this rat hole. I want to get online. I need
BDA boxing.
Testing 1, 2, 3. Welcome everybody to another BD Boxing podcast, broadcasting to you live from the true north. This is your good friend, Mr. BDA, and joining me as always, my co-host, the only one, King Bucho. King, you there?
Yes, sir.
Man, I screwed that one up for the first time in fucking 2.5 years. I screwed up the introduction. But listen, it was bound to happen. Can't be undefeated forever. Guys, thank you for joining us. Really appreciate it. We have got another open lines Friday for everybody. Anyone can join. That's the point of this. Through the StreamYard or through the phone lines. We want to get everybody's opinion. I know we often don't open up the StreamYard so you can come in and do whatever it is that you want to do in regards to boxing. You want to talk boxing. You want to, specifically tomorrow's fights. Do we have a fantastic assortment, an array, cornucopia of fantastic fights, all going to be taking place tomorrow on ESPN. You got Showtime, and I do believe even the Zone. I think Josh Kelly versus Avanesian is on the Zone. So another full night. I'm crackling over here. Another full night of broadcasting of boxing for everybody. Can't make this up. So guys, it's going to be a good one. Before we get to that though, let's get the business out of the way. Fellas, you know the drill. If you want to contribute via the Super Chat feature, you can certainly do so. Give us a couple of shekels. You can also do it with the PayPal page or the Patreon page. The most important thing, of course, is that you continue to contribute by listening, hitting that thumbs up button if you haven't done so already, subscribing, and spreading the BDA gospel. That's all we really care for more than anything else. Let's give a shout out to everybody in the chat room. Elias Tufexis, Ignorant Boxing, Recognize the Matrix, Christopher Roman, Brandon White, shout out to Brandon, Iceman, Triple JJJ, shout out to Triple JJJ, Space Ghost, and many more people to come, I'm sure. Guys, thank you for joining us. All right, so I'm going to be opening up the phone lines here and the StreamYard link. I'm going to put the StreamYard link first here. If anybody wants to join. And Butch, I don't know why I'm crackling. Do you hear it a lot or?
Not now.
Good. Fantastic. All right, there's the StreamYard link for you degenerates. You want to talk about Valdez Burchelt. Oh, I forgot to tell you, Bucho, apparently, and this is what I'm reading here. Again, it's not official because it's Boxing 24. It's more like a blog. But they're saying that Gervonta Davis, he said he won't be fighting at 130 or 35 his next fight. So people are actually supposing and assuming based on that he's going to be fighting at 126 against Gary Russell Jr. Huh?
Who's that? Tank Davis?
Well, let me tell you what the article says. The blog says. He says, when asked if his next fight will be at 130 or 135, Tank said neither. Tank then said he's a world champion upon being asked for a hint about his next foe. So either he's moving down to 126 or he's moving up all the way to 140.
Mhm.
So
He's scared.
that's what we. You're what?
He's scared. He also want to fight Teofimo Lopez.
Well,
I don't
actually,
know, man. Just
with tomorrow's fight, though, I wouldn't mind seeing Tank Davis fight the winner of that one. I mean, if he doesn't believe he's a lightweight and he still wants to fight the best on 130 and he wants to stay there, hey, why not, man? Look, we don't even know what's going on with Lopez, Ryan Garcia, and Devin Haney. They're talking about fighting each other, but then they go on and fight somebody else. So until they actually pull up their bootstraps and go to war with somebody that's worth it them, because they already did. For example, Lopez fought Lomachenko, doesn't seem to want to fight him again. Garcia already fought Campbell, passed his test. Devin Haney's, they're talking about fighting, he's talking about fighting Javier Fortuna. But what about the other two fellas? Anyway, listen, I'm going to be opening up the phone lines. I'm going to start inviting people too for the regulars here on the Discord. While we're at that, so you let me know, Bucho. Tank Davis, Berchelt, Valdez, Wylene versus Brazil. You let me know what you think, man.
Well, I mean, for tomorrow's fight, now people are saying that this could. Well, people, ESPN, obviously, they're promoting this fight as if it could be another Eric Morales Barrera, another. Which other fight we have? Jeez, I'm forgetting all these names. Marquez against.
I guess Barrera. They fought once.
Vasquez.
Oh, Vasquez versus
Yeah?
Marquez. Yes.
Yeah, Vasquez Marquez. So we're gonna have to wait and see. I mean, like some people are saying, like, don't get your hopes up because you never know what can happen. But the recipe is there. It could. You do want to fucking be there. And let me tell you, I'm gonna be watching this fight. There's no way I'm gonna miss it.
All right, Bucho, sorry about that, but you cut, because when I started inviting people, you cut off there.
Ah,
Oh, shit, I'm on.
jeez, we have a lot of people already. What the fuck?
Yeah, what the fuck? Well, it's because it's an exciting fight tomorrow, man. It is what it is.
All right,
Sorry,
we have, let's see. We have Jimmy, we have Jay, we have Reverse Lee, and Gonzalo.
You know what
welcome to
happened?
the show.
Bucho, I answered the phone. I thought it was a regular phone call. I had no idea I was answering to the fucking
Yeah,
number.
because what happened?
You did that to me last time I called you, Jimmy.
Sorry, man.
Yeah, what happened the other day, Bucho, is after the show we were talking, Recognize and Jimmy and Gonzalo were talking, and we finally set up Jimmy with because he never accepted the friend request on Discord. That's why you always had to send him the link via Twitter. But now we get to call
He
him
finally
direct.
accepted me the other day too.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, he's learning. He's learning. When he's not out there planning for the apocalypse, he's learning about Discord, man. That's fantastic. I'm
Zombies.
I'm trying to open up the phone lines as well, but fellas, we're talking about tomorrow's fight. They already weighed in. Both guys made weight. They seem primed and ready. There was a good 2,600 people in the stream for the weigh-in on YouTube in the chat room. So it seems like we got a good contingent of fans ready to go. Fellas, what are you expecting tomorrow? Who wants to go first?
It'll be cool,
Pretty good.
but probably won't. And I'll be in and out of the show too.
You mean
Okay,
right
he'll
now?
be
Or
there.
tomorrow?
All right. So, who wants to go first? Well, we talked about it on the last show. I don't know what else we can say. I mean, it's a great fight. Both guys made weight, so there's no excuses. There's nobody like went overweight. We just have to wait now and see if this actually lives up to the hype.
Well, I went first last time and then had technical difficulties for the rest of the show, so I didn't want to jump right in the first time.
Oh, go ahead then.
I mean, look, you got two fighters right where they need to be. Both need to prove something. I won't say a crossroads because neither one towards the end of their careers, but it's to the point where, especially with Burchett, they're saying he might be having trouble making weight. He wants to go to 135, and I said at the last show, if he really wants to prove that he belongs in there with the big boys at 135, he needs a good showing here. So I think he's really going to put his best foot forward.
Well, he should, right? And he always, Burchelt, I get the feeling he's one of the top pros out there. He's the consummate professional, man. I've never seen him in one of his recent fights out of shape against Vargas. It would have been easy in the second Vargas fight to say, I already beat this guy down. I'm just going to maybe take it easy or not train as hard. No, he showed up in the second just as good, actually better. Improved defense, a little bit more head movement. And so I don't ever expect to see Burchelt. I'd be surprised if Burchelt ever shows out of shape, man, for one of his fights, especially this one. ESPN gave him the VIP treatment with 2 small episodes, like a 24/7 type production. So it seems like they got big hopes for the winner. And speaking of the winner, I was telling Butcher before you guys jumped on, Tank Davis just said, and I'm sharing my screen here with you fellas so you can see, he did an interview. Doesn't say where it was the interview, but they asked him, which division is your next fight going to be at? And he said, neither 130 nor 135, he said. And then he gave a hint about the guy he's going to fight. And he said, he's a world champion. So guys, either he's moving down to 126 and fighting Gary Russell Jr., or he's moving up to 140. Who do you think the magic mystery fighter could be?
And a champion? Like a champion, what, at 140? Who would that be? It's Ramirez or Taylor. So that's not happening. So what's he talking about?
The 140 is locked up right now because I thought Ramirez and Taylor were finally squaring up. So if he's getting a title fight and a champion, an active reigning champion in a title fight, it ain't going to be at 140. So that only leaves, they said it's not junior lightweight or lightweight, that only leaves featherweight. Now, you expect me to believe that he's going to weigh in at 126 when he's busting at the seams at 135 and at 130. Hey, it's his career, but I'll watch it happen.
Gonzalo said the catch weight, so he couldn't. What if he's talking about a catch weight with a featherweight? But even then,
well, he said, look, neither 130 or 135. So Gonzalo, you could be right, man.
Teddy, what'd you see?
The hell is that?
Yeah, maybe he's.
Oh, sorry about that. Every time I open up the ESPN website, fuck, how can I shut this off?
About the size and
Hold on, give me 2 seconds because I can't shut this. Okay, there we go. Sorry about that. Every time I open up the ESPN rankings, go ahead, Gonzalo. Go ahead.
Maybe he's moving up to Bridgerweight, right?
All right, fellas, do us a favor, man. If you're gonna be on the mic, don't do it while you're eating, man, because then there's people just listening to this show, and so it doesn't sound.
Sorry. It's just that you have that going, and
that's okay. Don't worry.
Bridgerweight, yeah, he's gonna be fighting at Bridgerweight.
Hey, how much you want to bet Gonzalo's eating a torta or something? I want to ask him what he's eating because I'm curious.
Well, he's in the Philippines, so.
I'm eating a wheat bread with coconut cacao spread.
Oh, nice! Sounds delicious.
Yeah, it's like natural. I found it at this one store where they show like natural products.
Now I'm getting hungry, man. Go ahead, Butcher.
Like dried mango.
What I said.
I was gonna say, PDA, maybe he's gonna fight at Bridgerweight. Right, the new division.
Bridgerweight. Well, there's Canelo weight too. He makes up his weight as he goes along, right? Okay, so Jay brought up a good point, like where we're talking about if he fights a 140 pounder. I think it was Butcher. I forget which one of you two fellas said it, but I'm looking at the ESPN rankings here where they give us the actual titles because I don't get this memorized. I don't give a shit about world titles. So Ramirez is the WBO. Taylor is the IBF. He's also the WBA. Ramirez is also the WBC. But then you have Mario Barrios, who's the WBA junior welterweight champ, and Albert Puello, who is the WBA interim champion.
Wait a minute. So that's what he's doing now. He's going for all these interim belts, regular belts. What? I don't even know. He has right now. He has the WBA what?
Like he's big with trying to get the WBA interim regular.
Yeah.
Hashtag everything but Super World Champion belt, and that's what his career is going with at the moment.
So he actually do that though. He could try to get one of those belts, like fake belts. I'm gonna call them, and at 140, and then he would become a 3-time world champion.
Yeah. Well, do they actually consider themselves champs if they get the interim one?
Yeah.
Because otherwise, what's the point of being? Yeah, because otherwise, what's the point of being the interim champ, right? See, this is why I hate even just talking about this, man. I feel dirty mentioning the titles.
Yeah, it's confusing.
It is confusing.
It's all about how they can word their resume of how many times they've been a champion.
Exactly. Yeah, it's confusing and disgusting. By the way, fellas, phone lines are set up so you can call in or you can drop by the StreamYard. Let me put up the invite right there. We want to hear your thoughts on all the fights tomorrow. And if we start stalling with that, then we just talk about something else. That's the beauty of anyone can join Fridays, Open Lines Fridays. It's all about talking boxing and letting you guys come in and giving us your opinion. I see we got Jimmy back. Jimmy, did you hear about this? Did you hear about what we were talking about Tank Davis says he's neither at 130 nor 135, and he gave a hint of who he's fighting next. He says a champion. So either he's fighting a champ at 126 or at 140. Have you heard anything?
Well, it would have to be 140. Listen, you know what? Honestly, dude, I don't believe anything comes out of that camp.
Yeah.
I think they just talk a lot of bullshit, dude. He's running his mouth all the time. What I do when it comes to situations like this, you look at his past history. What has he done? Besides almost failing weight 3 out of his last 5 trips to the scale, he needed multiple trips to make it. He says one thing, he glory snatches. For 5 years, he's had Lomachenko on his mouth, but then takes on fucking one no-hoper after another. I mean, even if it is, goes down to 126, I don't see that kid having the discipline nor the frame to make it. If he did go down to 126, I think Russell would smack the shit out of him, only because he'd be so weak. So I just can't see that happening, brother. But that's my opinion on that.
Yeah, why should we believe that guy anyways? I mean, he can say whatever the fuck he wants. We know he can't make 126 or anything below 130. So that's out of the question. And then 140, he can't fight any of the real champions. So I guess, maybe he could fight one of those WBA interim, regular, whatever champions at 140. I don't know who has it.
It seems like a bizarre technique, man, or a bizarre but like Jimmy says, look, a lot of these fighters talk a big game. Oh, I'm gonna fight this guy. I want this guy. I wanna get all up in that ass and this and that, and then they end up fighting some mandatory because I want to keep my title, my precious title. So I think Jimmy's right, man. Forget about what he's saying and who he's gonna fight. No. Let's wait and see until the contract's finally signed. But tying Tank Davis up to tomorrow's fight between Valdez and Burchelt, we can talk all we want about Tank Davis's weaknesses and his liabilities, but at the end of the day, and I'm gonna be sharing the 130-pound rankings here with you fellas, Ring Magazines. Do you see anybody that you wouldn't favor Tank Davis over? Look at this. We got. Oh wait a minute, that's 135. Excuse me. My apologies. How dare I? There we go. You got Alvarado, who's a little beast. Gutierrez, I'm not familiar with him. Chris Colbert, pretty explosive fighter. Shakur Stevenson. I think his next fight is in front of a laundromat, so I don't know if how many people are gonna see that one. Rakimov, Farmer, Jamel Herring, whose fight against Frampton has been postponed. Joseph Diaz Jr. Fat Boy couldn't make weight last week, but he ended up not keeping his title actually, but keeping his record intact. Gervonta Davis, and then the aforementioned Burchell. So guys, who do you think out of those guys I mentioned could beat Tank Davis? Who would you favorably?
Chris Colbert and Burchell.
Yeah, Burchell. I definitely think Burchell could do it. You noticed when he was starting to call everybody out and Floyd was blowing his head up along with his belly that he never called out Burchell once. He called out a bunch of people, Loma, all these other guys at lightweight. His beef with Shakur that was behind the scenes and everything else, but he never ever mentioned Burchell.
Wait. What was the beef with Shakur? I didn't hear about it.
Oh, they I don't know. I thought I saw some kind of dream back and forth with that technology stuff where they were tagging each other and stuff about talking trash and who beat who in a sparring contest and I'll beat you. Don't all the stuff that they talk about from when they've known each other from a long time ago. I don't know of anything professional of I'm calling you out and I want your title kind of stuff, but just it was more sparring and behind the scenes stuff that they were trying to bring to light to probably hype something up in the future.
I see.
Nothing I saw that I thought was going to lead to anything of them facing anytime soon because Shakur still hadn't won a title at 126 when this was going on.
So who are you guys going to be picking then? I mean, so you're saying Burchelt and Shakur Stevenson, you would pick him against Tank Davis?
I don't know if I'd
No.
pick Shakur at this time. I would not make Burchelt a heavy underdog. I'll put it that way.
Okay, because I'll tell you what, though. I'll ask you a question. In terms of punching power, who hits harder between Tank Davis and Burchelt?
You asking me?
Tank Davis.
Well, everybody.
Tank Davis.
Tank Davis.
One punch
right?
at a time, Davis, but I think Burchelt puts them together better.
I agree. So then we get into hand speed. Who has the better hand speed?
Tank Davis.
Tank Davis, right? So you would assume that eventually, and I could be wrong, but I think eventually maybe they get into a bit of a firefight. Neither guy, because Burchelt's a bit of an underrated boxer. He's got a good long jab. He's got good footwork. I think eventually Tank Davis says, you know what, screw this, I'm going after him. And if that happens, I think Burchelt says, all right, let's go. I don't think he's going to do what he did in the Miura fight, which is to stick to the plan for 12 rounds. So when it comes down to a slugfest, usually, guys, what do you think? Does a guy with the faster hands who hits just as hard, if maybe not a little tad harder, does he get the benefit of the doubt in an exchange? Or like, how do you guys see that one going?
Then it comes down to chins and wills. Tyson was, even though they were the best age, Tyson was still younger. He was still hit harder. He's still faster than Vander Holyfield. And Vander Holyfield still won.
That's a good point. Yeah. Yeah. So, because that's a good thing. That's a good point. The chin, and we've seen Tank Davis getting hit. Santa Cruz was piecing him up. Pedraza was catching him clean. Old ass short Gamboa, crippled up, was able to catch him with a couple of shots here and there. His defense not the best. Now, when he wants to focus on defense, he can make life hard for people, but he tends to go for the offense a little bit too much and gets away too open. So a guy like Burchelt, his combination punching is just a tad less effective than Santa Cruz, but he does hit harder with those punches. So, man, I agree. It's a 50-50 for me at this point.
And he's a naturally bigger guy than Santa Cruz. A much naturally bigger guy.
Oh,
than
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And he
way
throws
bigger hits.
excellent uppercuts. Burchelt does with both hands. Last show I was saying, and I'm left-handed, so when I'm picturing boxing, I'm thinking that your lead hand is the right hand, but for most people, it's the left hand. Burchelt throws powerful uppercuts with both hands. So with that lead hand, just picture this. With the jab hand, he gets a lot of leverage on it, and that's what I was telling everybody. How does he does that? BDA said because he's a strong man. But it's kind of awkward. It's easy to throw a nice little nifty lead uppercut for most of you guys that are right-handed with that left hand. But to get a lot of power with that lead uppercut, he does that. And also with that trail uppercut. So he throws powerful punches against the shorter man that's got like a hard head. And Davis, he's got like a little helmet on top of his head. It looks like it must be his haircut. But I would catch him in the center, like under, because he's short. And that's what Burchelt would bring to the table with the uppercuts.
Right. That's a good point.
I think Burchelt would keep him in the center of the ring and embarrass him.
Well, let's also keep in mind if Burchelt wants to try and use skills outside of going to war, he's got about a 4-inch reach. And he's got at least 2 inches in height. So he doesn't have to stand there and go to war if he's got better skills on the outside, unless he wants to be in there.
Right. Exactly. That's a good point, man. But I tell you what, though, tomorrow, Burchelt has to get past Valdez tomorrow. So we're getting a little ahead of ourselves here. But hey, speaking of people, we got Jerson Medina in the stream. You're joining us. Jerson, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. How have you guys been? It's been a minute.
Yeah, it has been a bit of a minute, man. How are you doing?
I'm good. Life's been good. I've been busy, but I'm gonna be going to see the Chocolatito fight live. So that's gonna be great. I was gonna mention about the Burchelt Tank Davis if it happens. I think that's an interesting fight. I could see. I as much as I don't like to say it, I think Tank stops him, but I could see Burchelt pulling off an upset because if, no offense, but Leo Santa Cruz is pretty feather-fisted and he got to land that many shots. What would happen if Burchelt lands those same punches?
Absolutely. Yeah, but listen, but that's the thing. When people say, oh, Santa Cruz is feather-fisted, when you're getting hit with a guy wearing 8-ounce gloves, I'm telling you, they don't feel like feathers, man. And I think Tank Davis said, you know what? I don't want to be spending any more rounds getting hit flush in the face with this guy. I got to go for it. And he did. But to say that he wasn't feeling the shots, I would disagree there, man. I would disagree.
Yeah, but see, it was a bantamweight.
I'm sure he felt them, but I guarantee you they weren't having any effect on stopping him though, bro. Because even right before he dropped him in the final, Remember, he was just standing there and just letting them. He was just kind of pawing, letting them bounce off his head, and he just knew, yeah, it'd sting you. Nobody wants to get punched. Even my girl put on a glove, and if she catches you clean, it's gonna, fuck. There's other things that feel better, but she ain't gonna knock you out.
Right.
And I just don't think he had any. There wasn't a chance of him stopping. Him. But I think Davis is honestly, if he had discipline, that kid would never fight a pound over 126. He's tiny. I think Burchelt would look like a fucking monster.
He needs to stay in shape, man. He needs to stay in shape. He can't go to 140. That's not the question. But go ahead.
Go ahead, Jerson.
For sure. He's a punches are unpleasant for sure. But I'm just saying, what if Burchelt landed those punches? Because I think we can agree that Burchelt is a much harder hitter than Leo Santa Cruz.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree with you.
It could be dangerous for.
Absolutely.
I'm just saying it could be dangerous for Tank.
I absolutely agree with everything you guys are saying. I was just trying to make a bit of an autistic point there. We got more people here on the StreamYard. We're joined by Mad Chad. Mad, are you there?
Yes, sir. All the way from Portland, Maine. Much respect to the channel here. Much respect to the chat. I'm looking real forward to the Valdez Burchelt fight. Burchelt. Like you were saying though, with Tank Davis, the caller, taking a lot of punches from Santa Cruz. He's taking a lot of punches because he's just stalking the guy. They weren't hurting him, really feather-fisted. Tank was just walking him down. It was just a matter of time before he was going to tag him. I mean, much respect to Leo's boxing style, but not enough pop to keep Tank off him for 12 rounds. But the Valdez-Burchelt fight's going to be a fucking war. I believe this has all the styles, the wants of both fighters to be a classical war. And I think after the fight, I think it's going to be fight of the year possibly. And I'm going to roll with Valdez. He's plus 300. I mean, plus 300. I mean, everybody's giving him a fighter's chance, I think. I mean, the kid's undefeated. He had a fucking broken jaw. He gets knocked down. He gets up. He's hanging out with Canelo. He's got the trainer of the year there. Well, maybe not the trainer of the year, but one of the trainers of the year. I mean, he's in the right place in his mind. And I think it's going to be a war. If probably someone had a gun to my head, I'd take Burchelt. But I mean, at those odds at plus 300, that's a big underdog.
Well, speaking of underdogs, there's another guy. It's not just you and Gonzalez going with the underdog. We got the Brotherhood on the StreamYard as well. And he's, if I remember correctly from what I read, Brotherhood, you're picking Valdez as well, right?
Yes, by late stoppage.
I tell you, I don't see that as being I don't see that as being crazy, because Valdez, say what you want about him, he does seem a little vulnerable. Not the hardest guy to hit, but he can hit right back. He's got that big of like foot. So Brotherhood,
yeah, for sure.
So Brotherhood, let me ask you this, man. Like, what's your prediction exactly, and how? Like, break it down for us a little bit.
Wow. Well, I think it's gonna be a back and forth fight in the early rounds, and then Valdez gonna start outclassing him because Burchelt just ain't on his level. Valdez got better defense, and Burchelt just a big punching bag. Everybody fucking underrating Valdez power just because he moving up, but he done knocked out everybody at 130. He's been through more adversity than Burchelt. He ain't never been knocked out in the first round like Burchelt by some dude with like fucking 20 losses. And come on, bro. Valdez about to shine, man. He about to beat the shit out of Burchelt, for lack of a better.
Yeah, but sometimes
bro, that's fucked up, bro. But that's good. That's good in a good way. Basically, he's saying he's watched the fights, he's experienced what's going on with Valdez and Burchelt. We've all watched these fights. We had the Scott Quigg UD. Let's be real, bro. I think the Brotherhood's got a point, bro. I was going for Burchelt for a KO. Brotherhood's just switched my mind, bro.
Hey, Pigeon, I gotta ask you though. Pigeon. I was gonna call you Pigeon Hood. Pigeon, I gotta ask you, what's that in your? Did you just get a bruise on your chin or something? You look like you got a bit of an injury there. Not the other side.
I cut my. No, I was having a shave, bro. I cut it doing the shave, bro.
Were you drunk while you were shaving? What the fuck?
I got a bit of a Burchelt, bro. I got a Burchelt on my chin, bro.
Hey, do you have a good chin? Hold on. Do you have a good chin? Can you take a punch?
I used to. How old do you think I am? How old do you guys think I am, bro?
Yeah, I know how old you are, and I know that you're a legend in the amateur ranks here, Pigeon.
I'm
I
an
mean, I
old
know you got
man.
a chin.
I'm,
You got a
I'm,
chin like Tex Cobb. That's what
I
they
don't
said.
think
Word on the
I
street.
don't think I've got a chin like Tex Cobb, but I'm in my 50s. I'm a lot older than Chad. So there you
Whoa.
go.
Chad, hey, I'm 50. I'm 51, I think.
Yeah, I'm 51 next year, mate. So yeah,
All right,
I'm
then
not.
I'm older than you. I'm older than you, so.
I
Hey,
don't think you are, but there you
Well,
go.
I
Chad,
am.
Chad,
I am.
Chad,
I
are
think I
you,
know how old I am.
Chad, are you by any chance
Yeah.
related to a guy we know called Slugger Sam?
I don't believe so, but I believe we're all related somehow.
Spoken like a true hippie. All right, now listen.
Listen. So do you want listen? Bichel against Valdez is a difficult fight. It's about a 60-40 for Belcher. Listen, let's go further down the list. What about Robert Easter? We got Easter. We got all these fucking characters. Let's go down the list of fights for Saturday because there's some good fights on that list. I'm
I would
gonna
agree.
get them up.
All right, so we got Robert
Let's
Easter
get 'em
Jr.
up.
Robert Easter Jr. fighting Ryan Martin tomorrow, right?
Yeah,
So
we have.
140?
Yeah, I'm gonna go
Blowout.
Easter for the Easter for the UD, bro. Easter for the UD. I'm gonna go Easter for the UD on that.
Yeah.
I think he's got the he's got the pedigree. He's got the background. So I'm gonna go Easter, bro. I'm going Easter, bro. On that.
That guy needs to redeem
Sorry to
himself.
bother
I'm
you all,
still,
but
I still remember that Mikey Garcia fight, and I cannot forget it. I can't forget that fucking performance from Robert Easter Jr. It was pathetic.
that was
It was a
fucked up, bro.
unification fight. Yeah.
Well, and then there was this lovely
He's a
fight with
piece of
Francis
shit. He's a
Bartholomew,
piece
which
of
we should
shit,
all
bro.
want to forget.
Oh yeah, that Barthélemy fight was.
Oh,
oof.
yes.
Yeah, Bucho,
All right.
see, that's why I think you exaggerate a little bit when you say, "Oh, that performance was disgraceful," because the performance from that fight, that one was disgraceful. Barthélemy
Yeah,
and
true,
and
true,
Easter.
true.
No, listen. But Bucho's always right, bro.
What?
He's always right on
Always.
that. I think he's always right on a lot of fights, bro.
You haven't been
I
listening.
think
You haven't
Bucho's
been
one of
listening to
them
the right
guys
showman.
that.
Listen, if you
I've
said
been
BDA,
listening for
listen,
years,
if you
bro,
said
and
Mr. If you said Mr. BDA is always right, I would say absolutely right on the money. But Bucho, I don't know.
Hey,
I think he's
before I
got a
forget,
good
because we were
point on
talking
a lot
about.
of fights, bro.
Hold on, Pigeon. Hold on, Pigeon. Give us a second here. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
I was going to say, because we were talking about that ESPN is really hoping to create some sort of star out of this fight, either Burchelt or Valdez. But I'm thinking they want
It's
to
gonna be some
hopefully get
pieces.
3 fights.
Yeah, sorry.
They want to get 3 fights out of this, man. I think that's what they want. No,
3 fights.
Get a trilogy. They want
They
a
just
trilogy,
want the
man.
fucking that. These
I wouldn't be
fucking
surprised if we do.
putos about that. All these fucking putos want is the money, bro. They want the fucking ficos. That's all they want, man.
All these what you
Yeah,
said?
but
I'm
this
not
fight's
sure
a moneymaker, especially
I'm
if
not
it
sure
becomes the
Belchek
fight that we
can
expect
be there
it to.
for 2
All
more
right,
fights.
no. Okay, because
Yeah,
now
maybe.
we got a full
No.
house here. We got 4 people in that StreamYard and in the Discord as well. So let's go to Jerson Medina first, and then we'll go to Jay. Go ahead, Jerson.
I wouldn't be surprised if we got 2 or 3 fights because these fights could be bangers. Like they might not be like the highest pedigree pound for pound, but like this fight could be a classic.
This fight could be a classic.
Come on,
All right,
bro.
yeah.
It's gonna be
What?
that ain't gonna be no classic, bro.
All right. Hold on.
If that
If not,
fight is
Hold
gonna
on.
be a classic, come on, bro.
Hold on.
But
Let's
if
get.
not,
Hold on. Let's
we're gonna
get.
go-
Fellas. Hold on, Jerson. You reply, and then we'll get to Jay. Okay, go ahead, Jerson.
All right. What I meant by that is like it could either be a straight war that like fight of the year contender, or it could be a one-sided destruction by Burchelt. Either way, I got Burchelt winning.
That's a
But
good
yeah.
point. That's a good that's the way it will go down. It's gonna be a one fucking round knockout like fucking
right.
Balanga. Like
All right, hold on.
Balanga, it's gonna go the other way, bro.
All right, let me get to Jay here, who wanted something. I think Gonzalo wanted to say something as well after. But go ahead, Jay. What were you gonna say?
I don't think Burchelt's going to be able to stick around 2 more fights. He's already been making. I've heard through places, and I don't think I've ever read it anywhere, but he's already been making comments. From what I've been hearing, he's having trouble making weight, He doesn't want to be there too much longer, and he wants to move to 135. So I don't see 2 more fights out of this, especially if it's a war. I would think he's going to be moving north. As far as who he's lost to, he did have a one round loss to a guy named Flores, but someone said that guy had 20 losses. The guy was 15-1 when they fought.
Yeah, obviously Burchelt is not the same fella, right? I mean, he's gone through Vargas twice, Jason Sosa, Miura. So I think it's safe to say he's not the same guy that lost to some random Colombian coffee bean picker.
I think BDA is right, bro. We got Salsa fucking linked in there. All these fucking guys, bro.
Bro, Chelsea the same guy that got knocked out back in 2014. We don't need a fucking picture to take Valdez out.
Hey, Brotherhood, you're breaking up. Hold on, Justin. Give me 2 seconds here. Because Brotherhood, you're breaking up a little bit. It's like you're going in and out. I don't know if you're on Bluetooth but it sounds like you're on the way. All right, Justin, go ahead, Justin. What were you gonna say, Justin?
Oh no, I think I wouldn't go by that, saying that like how he said, oh, he's gonna get knocked down 1 round. Like he's not bringing up that loss. No offense, but like fighters can evolve over the years. Like he did get knocked out, but that doesn't mean that he's no longer a good fighter.
Yeah, that's the thing.
That's a fact. People lose. I mean, it was 7 years ago, right, BDA? I mean, he lost a long time ago. You know, it proves that he can lose. I mean, one thing that hasn't been proven yet is Valdez hasn't lost. I see both these guys getting off the canvas. I see one getting knocked down, the other getting up, then getting knocked down. I see 2 or 3, maybe 4 knockdowns in this fight because they're going to both go in there with the attitude they're going to die. They're going in there with that attitude. I'm leaving my life in the ring. That's what these 2 men are going in there. We're going to witness it. It's going to be a great fight. I'm looking so forward to it, BDA. And thanks again for the panel. Thanks again for having me, BDA.
No problem, man. No problem. Thank you guys for being on.
Take care, man. God bless.
Oh, wait, is he leaving or is he... Okay, anyway, listen, the point is this.
No, just giving shout outs to you.
Yeah, because it sounded like you
know what I mean?
It sounded like
Don't worry, it sounded like tell them to please hit the like button. That's really gonna help the channel. Don't forget to hit the like button, please.
Yes, please hit the like button. Anyway, it just sounded like Matt Chad was giving us the fuck off. But anyway, I wanted to say something about the knockout for Valdez. Valdez can crack. And Burchelt, yes, he's not the same guy from 2014. He's better. But I tell you one thing, though. He keeps that chin up in the air. If you watch the film analysis we did, you can still check them out. They're over there here on our channel. That's one I keep saying. If Valdez changes the levels on him and makes Burchelt drop his hands, he's going to have that chin up in the air, hands down, right for the picking for an overhand an overhand right or a left hook. And it could be lights out. You never know.
And also, I mean, BDA, Burchelt does throw powerful uppercuts, but I noticed that when he throws the uppercuts, you kind of know they're coming because he just sits a little too long, maybe loading up, not telegraphing so much, but you don't really have to telegraph a whole hell of a lot. Once that shoulder goes back a little bit, you can step in really hard, right? A fraction of a second, because when you get the beat on the guy as you're exchanging, if the guy loads up a little bit too much, cocks the shoulder a little back, you can step in hard, right, on your attack. And stylistically, you know, this is gonna be a war. I think you did mention that Burchelt got that long jab when he initiates his offense. But when they start to a trading, one guy, Burchelt, he throws uppercuts with both hands, and Valdez throws hooks with both hands. So it's gonna be, from a visual and entertainment perspective, you're gonna see a lot of like one guy's punching from side to side and one's coming from underneath. So it's going to be like an industrial sewing machine. A lot of action at one time. Side to side and up and down. And the exchanges. It's going to look badass, I think.
Yeah. Gonzalo's got the best breakdowns, man. He comes up with some fantastic comparisons there. I'm curious here about the actual odds, because I was thinking about that and I said, yeah, you know what? I do believe a bet is right for the picking when it comes to this fight. Who else is willing to bet on this fight? I'm talking some serious money, not just $5, $10. I'm talking big time.
Yeah, I'll put some money on it. I'll put some money on Valdez. I got Valdez for the KO in the 11th.
Yeah, I'll put a 50. I'll have 50 on Valdez at plus 300.
There you go.
Mean,
imagine if we get a recreation of Zepeda Baranchik. That'd be awesome. I know it's unlikely, but that'd be great.
Well, why not though? I mean, it could.
I mean, I think it's a hard pill to swallow. You're gonna bet minus 400 on Burchelt. I mean, facing Valdez minus 400, and the money keeps going on Burchelt. That's even crazy. It opened up at minus 200. You know, it opened up. He was a slight favorite, but all the money's gone on Miguel.
Yeah, that's a good point. Hey, by the way, somebody in the chat, Chris Court in the chat says Pigeon is a maricón pendejo. He's calling you, well, I can't say in English, but maricón pendejo, man. What do you got to say about that?
What the fucking? He's talking out of his ass, bro. This guy, he's a fucking piece of shit, bro. So
Oh, wait, without the language, though. Come on now.
He doesn't even know me, man. He doesn't even know me. You want me to speak to him in about 500 languages?
Pigeon,
bro.
I would slap the living
again.
shit out of you. I would dance rings around your bum.
Wow, we've got
I would
Stu on,
slap
bro.
the
we got
living
Stu,
shit
bro.
out of you.
We got,
Trust me.
Listen, bro. We've got this
The
guy.
day you ever step to me,
from
the day you ever step to me would be the last day you'd
Warsaw,
step
bro.
to anybody. Trust me on
Yo, we've got this man from.
You ain't gonna do nothing. You locked in your house. You on lockdown.
Yeah, bro. What's Stu up to?
Nah,
bro?
I'm only kidding.
Stu,
I'm only
what
kidding,
you
Pigeon.
doing,
Pigeon, I'm joking, bro. Listen, I got no beef for you, bro. I know you're a bit of a tool. I won't lie, but I
No,
got no
come
beef for
on.
you.
Now, wait a minute. Hey, by the way, listen,
I have a tool. I'd agree with that.
I'm pretty sure if you guys were in England right now, in
Let's
Manchester or
go.
something, you'd be having some...
Let's get Stu's opinion on the boxing, bro.
Yeah, let's go. Let's go with Stu. Stu, what's your... Actually, you already gave us your opinion.
I'm just messing with Pigeon, man. I was only playing, trying to wind him up. But look, what boxing are we talking?
Tomorrow's fights, people are pumped up. Finally, took a little bit, but of time. But people
Calling
are pumped.
Morales Barrera 3, basically.
Ah, come on. Well, I disagree with
the
that.
trilogy. Yeah.
Who's Barrera Morales 3? Is that again?
Chelt against Valdez. They saved the
Oh, come on. I'm not going that far. Fucking calm down a little bit here. Jesus Christ. I mean, look, Barrera Morales, I mean, Barrera Morales is probably my favourite trilogy of all time. Honestly.
Yeah.
Mate, listen, I remember when I watched Barrera Morales, it was actually on fucking Sky Sports box office back in the day. Like, it was like £15 back then, and I paid for it, and I was like probably only earning 30 quid a week, like when it YTS, like the training. I probably only earned 30 quid a week at the time, and I paid 15 quid to watch that. Mexico, 4 o'clock in the morning around my mates. I remember it. I mean, absolute.
Do you remember Stu?
Legendary.
Stu,
I mean,
do
to
you
say
remember
that
the HBO, Stu, do you remember all the HBO fights in the 90s and that? We used to have all the HBO fights and
mate,
stuff like that.
HBO.
This is when HBO meant something. You know, back then, this is when when you saw HBO, it just meant something back then. When you see it now, it's whatever. You know, it just doesn't mean anything anymore.
Listen,
It's
I know
like,
I'm the youngest one in the chat, but
the
even I
greatest,
use HBO.
the greatest moment for me was when Tyson was fighting Lewis, and you had Jimmy Lennon Jr. announcing Tyson. You had Michael Buffer announcing Lennox Lewis, and it's just you had a fucking loads of security guards in the middle of them. The thing was just like a WWE event, but it was just brilliant to watch. But we've lost that in the sport now. We've just lost that.
Yeah, it was a rock. It was a full-blown rock show. It was like freaking the Beatles invading America. It was just a rock star show. That Tyson Lewis was just off the hook, electrifying.
It fucking was. And listen, it wasn't even about like even Michael Buffer and Jimmy Lennon Jr. were competing. Michael Buffer that night. I mean, just listening to him, it brought a tear to my eye. I mean, he was just. Oh man, it was just amazing to listen to. Michael Buffer, that was the best Michael Buffer I ever heard. And he got into it. It was just a massive event. And we just don't get that no more. I mean, come on, man. We'll never see that again. I don't think I'll ever see that again. My Tyson Joshua, maybe so, yeah. But apart from that, I'm not sure I want to see something like that.
Hey, by the way, we got somebody else joining us on the stream yard. We got Boxing Facts. Boxing Facts, are you there? Boxing Facts going once. Oh, he dropped out. All right. Hey, by the way, fellas, don't forget on the StreamYard. Don't forget on the StreamYard. If you're not gonna talk, mute your mic. That way we don't get any interference, any background noise. Real quick, before we continue, we got to recognize on the Discord as well. Recognize Stu took us down memory lane here with HBO. What do you think? Do you think tomorrow we get an old school boxing after dark HBO type fight?
It could happen, man. It could happen. I like these two fighters. I think this fight, the way I predicted, that Sean Porter and Errol Spence would be a really good fight. I'm gonna go out and say I'm pretty much guaranteeing it's gonna be there's gonna be some fireworks in this fight throughout the whole fight.
All right, so there you have it. People have high hopes for the fight. I guess I'm the only negative Nancy.
Who he picking though? He ain't tell us who he picking.
Yeah, I just don't. I mean, to compare it to Morales Barrera, I mean, I think we need to calm down with that one. It's gonna be a good fight. Both guys come to entertain, and that's what we want. I think the style's going to match nicely, but Barrera and Morales, that Barrera and Morales, that's a bit like Gatti Ward. You're just going to get that once in a generation, that sort of stuff. But I'm looking forward to it.
I agree.
Not only stylistically do these guys look like they're going to give us a good fight inside the ring, but one guy he's always in entertaining fights, Valdez. If you think about Gotti or Mickey Ward separately, not together. How those two guys, when they were in other fights, like Ivan Robinson, Arturo Gatti, who faced other contenders, they were in exciting fights. So when one guy continuously gives you exciting fights back to back, you can pretty much surmise that a guy like Valdez, even with different dance partners, this guy's gonna is right up his alley. This guy's gonna deliver another entertaining fight. How many fights did Gotti have with different opponents that were good? Same thing could be said about Mickey Ward.
Yeah, I think just sometimes you get that dancing partner that it just clicks on the night and everything becomes a masterpiece, and that's what Gatti. Look, to the boxing purists, defensively, like I said before, they're probably cringing at that, but to me.
But Stuart, listen, how many opponents did Mickey Ward have without Arturo Gatti that he gave us good fights?
What I'm saying is, forget about the other opponents. No one's talking about Gatti's other opponents. What are you going to talk about the Mayweather fight when he got schooled
because
for every second?
We haven't seen these two guys in the ring. I could say that
Gonzalo, please, brother. I'm talking about Gatti and Ward. That was a masterpiece. That was a piece of art. When you talk about Arturo Gatti or Mickey Ward, you always mention the both, and that's because that was a trilogy for the ages, right? And two styles that just were meant to be, and you're not going to get. Mickey Ward could have fights with 50 other opponents. He's never going to get what he got with Mickey Ward. And I just think
that was one of the reasons he retired.
You got it with Barrera Morales. You got it with Bo Holyfield. And you got it with Pacquiao Marquez. It just doesn't happen very often. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah, but what I was just trying to make
these guys are just nowhere near that level.
Yeah, Mickey Ward has different fights of the year with different opponents. Arturo Gatti has different fights of the year with different opponents. Valdez is an exciting fighter that, although we have not seen him in action against Burchell, we could pretty much surmise that the guy's going to give an entertaining performance. Now, specifically, if you put him against that style, then we can all foresee that it's going to play out even more. So we can pretty much guarantee ourselves, I think, that we're going to get a special fight tomorrow.
Yeah.
By the way,
to your point,
what's a great
won.
Hold on, fellas. One at a time. Hold on, fellas. One at a time.
3 years in a row.
One at a time, fellas. One at a time. Go ahead, Jimmy. Go ahead.
I was going to say Mickey won 3 years in a row, Fighter of the Year, but he even knew at the end, at the third year with the Toro, that he was going to be forever linked. The Toro, like Stu said, yeah. He says he expects that. He says, what am I going to do? One of the reasons he retired at the end, he's like, I'm never going to do it. Where am I going to go from here? I'm working full time.
The thing is that, like I said,
job, so.
One second, fellas. 1 second. Then how can they even make the movie The Fighter, right? They have the movie The Fighter and not even mention Arturo Gatti in the fight. It was
supposed to be a fighter too.
But that's a whole different thing. Mickey's one of my all-time favorites.
It was supposed to be a second movie. They never made it.
They wanted to, but they didn't want to get.
It was supposed to be a second fight, and it fell through.
Yeah, Jerson,
a couple of different things.
Jerson,
mainly because Mickey's mom didn't like it. The family didn't like the way they were portrayed, so they didn't allow a second one.
Yeah, Jerson, you were gonna say something
This
afterwards?
might be his Vasquez, Rafael Marquez type of thing. Like this might be Mickey Ward's Arturo Gotti, Burchell Valdez. We don't know what the two. There might be a second or third. Go ahead, Bridia.
Yeah, Jerson.
I mean, let's be real. No one's going to be calling for a second one of that, no matter what the outcome is. It's just one of them fights where, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. You know, it's the unknown. But do I want to see it a second time? No. But look, for me, like I said, to see a rematch, it's got to be like a real top fight of the year contender. Otherwise, move on. I mean, how many times do we have to see people? I mean, that's what I mean. Even with Marquez Pacquiao, it just got draining for me.
Yeah,
Really
but what if
draining.
this fight is actually a good fight, a very good fight? Like they will have to make a rematch. Why not? I mean, we had Brandon Rios and Alvarado fight 3 times. You know what I mean? So I'm
To
pretty
me,
sure
there
this
has to
could
be
a-
questions that haven't been answered.
All right, now here's what we're gonna do, fellas. Because
You know
now
what
we
would have
got
been a good fight that never happened?
Jerson, hold on, please. We got 8 people here on the Discord, plus 5 on the StreamYard. So we gotta keep it consistent here, a little bit more concise. I was gonna say we got Pete on the StreamYard as well. Pete, are you there?
What's up, fellas?
How you doing, Pete? Uncle Pete, we're talking
Hanging
about
in.
tomorrow's fights between. There's a whole lot, but Valdez Burchelt. It seems like ESPN is really hyping this fight up as if every time 2 Mexicans get together, they're always gonna create fireworks. What do you think? Do you think they're overhyping it a little bit?
No, it's got the matchmaking to be a burner. You know, why not? I just watched this. Matter of fact, I just watched ESPN and they showed the weigh-in. You see the weigh-in?
Yeah.
God damn, Burchelt looks fucking. That's scary, man. That's a hell of a weight cut for him, huh?
Wait, he's scary. Why? Just because he's Mexican, he's scary? Is that what you're getting at?
Yeah, of course. I mean, that goes without being said. But other than,
jeez,
it's like a fucking Mexican zombie or some shit. No, he's. I mean, did you see the face off after the weigh-in?
He looks like the
he's
sort
a
of
much
guy that's
bigger guy
probably chopped
than
someone's head off and left it on the bonnet of a car or something, Mexican style. You know, he does look one of them fucking guys that you just don't want to see in a dark alley sort of thing. But hey, Valdez is always in a good fight. Always, you're always going to see, no matter who the style is, Valdez will get dragged into a war, and it's going to be a good, entertaining fight. I just think with this Burchelt, you let this guy hit you clean too many times, it's going to be a short night. Let's just say that.
Yeah, man. It appears like it might be that type of case there. Listen, we gotta keep the StreamYard rotating. So I'm gonna give people a little more of a chance here to speak, and then after that we gotta keep rotating to new people. So Brotherhood, he hasn't spoken in a while. Brotherhood, so are you placing a bet for tomorrow's fight? Because I know you're picking the underdog, Valdez. All right, I think Brotherhood passed out. Matt Chad, which round did you say you're picking Valdez in, or did you say decision?
Well, I think it's probably going to end up going to the cards or start by a ref because I don't see either one of them quitting, I see Valdez pulling the upset off. I think it's going to be a battle. I think it might start off a little slow, a little feel out. I know Burchelt will start off a little slow sometimes. And I think Valdez is I think they're going to try to keep distance, right out of the gate. And I think Valdez is going to catch him. He's going to counter him. I think Valdez is a little quicker. I think he's going to be able to counter him when Burchelt throws the jab. Valdez has a real nice left hook. He throws that left hook and it's powerful. People say he's a little light-fisted, but I'll tell you, he hits you with that left hook. People feel it. I think it's going to be a war. They're both Mexican. It's all set up to be a classical war. I hope it builds up to the hype. I'm happy for ESPN the way they're promoting it because they're promoting the shit out of it. Every other commercial's about the fight. Good for ESPN. I hope it lives up to the hype, but I think it's going to be a great fight. I can't wait to hear all you guys' opinion.
Fantastic. Thank you for your prediction there. Real quick, also thanks to Jason Bornsky, who says, I don't mind giving a super chat, but it's becoming a bit expensive just to make a comment on the channel I like. Keep a leash on the British bird so I can make an expensive comment. Oh, wait, it's Jason Bourne? Is that who? Yeah, Jason. All right, Jason Bornsky. Shout out for you. Shout out to your super chat there, Jason. And what was I going to say? Oh, yeah, okay. So we got Jed Kyle also on the StreamYard. Jed, thank you for being on, first of all. And who are you picking for tomorrow's Knocker Brocker?
Yeah, how are you, BDA brother? How's the rest of the panel? Shout out to the lads. Yeah, I'm actually going to go Valdez as well by the upset. I don't really, but I can see why Belchelt should be the favourite. But I'm just going out on a limb and picking Valdez to maybe cause the upset. Maybe he can, become the star that they always thought he would be, and put in the best boxing performance he's had, which he'll need to do to beat Belchelt. But I also want to quickly say, anyone comparing this to Barrera Morales is kidding themselves. Like, this is a great fight tomorrow, but it's no Barrera Morales. Barrera and Morales were 2 pound for pound fighters at the time they fought each other, and 2 special talents. These 2 fighters aren't on that level. So as good as this fight is, you can't compare it to Barrera and Morales. No chance. Anyone who's saying that needs to slap themselves.
Yeah, I kind of agree.
Jed, Jed.
How are you, Chad? We're still my bra. We're still my bra. How are you, Chad?
Great. But again, it could just be the class. Not that they're at the same talent of the 2 fighters that you just mentioned, and that comparison is ill-advised at this point. But I'm saying their styles of fight could set up to be a Ward Gotti type war, where they're both not going to quit. They're both going to throw punches, and they both don't have great defenses. They'll both get hit. They get hit. You know what I'm saying? They're not afraid to get hit. It just has the makings to be a beautiful war. A lot of blood, a lot of knockdowns. Yeah. Not saying they have the talent of Morales or Barrera, but they have the makings to be a great war.
Yeah, I agree with that. More Ward Gaddy than Barrera Morales. But that's fair enough. That's fair enough, bro.
Let me ask Jerson Medina. Jerson, as long as it's not a Caleb Plant versus Caleb Truax type of fight, are you going to be satisfied tomorrow?
Of course. I actually think this could be a fight of the year, and I think I got Berchelt in 8.
Berchelt in 8. All right.
That's. I'm gonna start writing these predictions down.
We got to start writing them down. Okay, so let's start with the Discord. You got it.
Jerson says.
I've got Berchelt 9th round KO.
Okay, so Jerson said Berchelt 8.
Stu said 8.
Stu said 9th. Stu said 9th.
9th.
Yeah, 9th.
Berchelt.
So he's just okay. Let's go with Jay. Jay, who are you picking for tomorrow? The main event, of course.
I'm going Berchelt. I'm going with a war, and I'm going to go with a hard-fought decision. I don't know if it's going to be unanimous or how close it's going to be, but I'm not going to count Valdez out, which is the only reason why I'm not predicting a knockout. But I think he's going to come out on top. I think he wants to prove a little bit more, like I said, that he thinks he belongs up there with the big boys at 135.
It's an interesting prediction right there.
Decision.
Wait. He said Valdez. I thought he said Berchelt decision.
I said Berchelt decision. I didn't predict the knockout because of how tough Valdez is.
Right. Yeah, Valdez is tough.
If it been a lesser opponent, I'd be predicting a knockout. But I think 6 title fights in a weight class below, a former Olympian, undefeated fighter who's never lost. I think they both have a point they want to prove. I think the naturally bigger man's going to come out on top on this one. And that's the reason why I'm picking the decision.
All right. Let's go with Gonzalo. Although I still remember his prediction already, but let's just write it down for posterity. Gonzalo, your official prediction for tomorrow's main event. Paulies.
Yeah, I went ahead and picked Oscar Valdez by 9th round TKO.
With the upset. Major upset by knockout. Jimmy, who did you pick for tomorrow's main event?
The Mexican.
All right.
No, well, you got Valdez is coming. I like Valdez a lot. I like him out of the ring too. I like the shit he says. You know what I mean? He seems like such a good kid. I like anybody who loves animals and see him with his dog. So my heart, I want to see Valdez win, but he's moving up in weight. Berchelt is a big dude. He's only gotten better over the years. I mean, he's like, if you stood, I mean, you looked at the weigh-in. I mean, he's shredded. He's probably down about 2% body fat and got a lot of muscle packed on. I just don't see, if Valdez does stop him, I just don't see a late stoppage because how is he going to carry that strength that far into the fight and, stop him? It would be if he was to clip him. I would think it'd have to be earlier in the fight, catching cold. But I don't know. My heart wants Valdez, but my heart's saying Berchelt.
You got to make a pick, man. Come on now.
Come on.
All right, Michelle by late stoppage.
Burchard late stoppage. There you go.
Late stoppage.
Round 10.
There you go. I'm going with my boy Buccio, round 10.
Sorry to interrupt, guys, but you've just got to laugh at Kev, haven't you? He's got in the chat. Kev is Stu's father. That's what he's called himself. That's his profile name. I mean, this guy, he gets up in the morning. Yeah, most of us get up in the morning, look to our left or our right, see our beautiful girlfriend sitting there in their frilly little panties. No, he's sitting there with his mobile phone on Stuart Little's YouTube profile. You know what I mean? This fucking guy, man, is obsessed with me, man. Honestly, it's embarrassing. I pity the man. I really, really do. I mean,
He wants to be
it just
on
doesn't
board.
get any lower. I mean, if this guy got any lower, he'd be in the pits of hell. He really would. I mean, he's just embarrassing.
The thing is, like, he wants you to block him, but then he's like changing his name to Stu.
Yeah, guy, his life revolves around my attention. Get a grip, man. There's a world out there. Go and get a bit of pussy or something. Go and enjoy yourself.
You know
Take
what I
some
think,
fucking
man?
Colombian cocaine party, man. You're sitting there worrying about Stu Little all night, man. You fucking weirdo, bro.
You know what I
trust
think,
me,
man?
if I ever passed you in the street, I'd slap the shit out of you just for being annoying.
Here's what I
would.
think, man. Stu, if my opinion means anything, here's what I think you should do. I think you should win him over with kindness and actually take him under your wing. Show him the ropes, show him how it's done, and then you'll form a stronger bond than anybody
Look,
could ever
the only
imagine.
advice I'd give that guy was to, if he sees a bridge, just jump off the fucking thing and do the world a favour.
Okay, come on. That's not the type of advice I'd give a young fella, but hey, listen, we're all different people.
Look, if you see a train coming towards you, then just make the move. Don't be shy. Come on, man. This guy is a degenerate. And honestly, it's embarrassing that he's spent most of his the last 6 months.
So what the fuck you saying, homie?
Yeah, I mean, I think you're going a little bit too far, man. But listen.
No, listen, I ain't going too far. Just go back and watch everything he says in the chat. Every call he does is about me. What are you fucking blind or something? We got Ray Charles hosting the BDA right now. No, you see what's going on.
I don't see what's going on.
This fucking guy, everything's about me.
Hey, listen. Anyway, listen, Kev. If you want to, like Buccio said, if you want to behave, don't come in with a name that says "fuck Stu Little" or something. I mean, that's a little bit of it's going against what you're trying to do. But hey, listen. Also, let's keep going with the boxing here. All right. So we got everybody. Recognize. What's your prediction?
My prediction is
what the fuck? Sounds like you're getting blown or something.
Yeah, I was doing something. Anyway, yeah, I got who Brotherhood's picking? 'Cause I go opposite. whoever he's going Valdez. I'm going Burchelt. I'm gonna say this. Burchelt stops him late, but he's gonna get dropped in the early rounds. I think Valdez is coming for blood, like he always does.
I think you're right.
In the chat, Blue Collar Sports TV says Recognize just injected a fresh vial of testosterone.
He's working out again.
Yeah, he's
working out again during the show.
He's moving those weights,
Dang
those
it, I'm
100
still
pounds weights.
upset this man Kovalev took synthetic testosterone. That got me so heated.
That we know of.
Well, is working on with Canelo.
Yeah, as long as you know.
Oh yeah, he's probably getting that Mexican meat. And honestly, I personally think the reason why Andy Ruiz hasn't fought in so long is because Eddie Reynoso wants him to look in shape, and that probably means he's slapped in some Mexican meat. If not, glory to God, But yeah,
Ruiz Jr. looking good. He's getting slimmed down. He's looking sharp.
Yeah, he actually has looked slimmed down. So I personally wouldn't be surprised if he's getting in shape now.
Who are we talking about?
No offense.
Yeah, he's in the gym. He's in that same gym.
Ruiz
Jr.
Andy, dog.
Ah, come on, Ruiz.
The Destroyer.
Oh, Ruiz.
Andy the Destroyer, Ruiz.
Yeah, he did slim down. He actually
yeah, but
my top heavyweight.
Going to be disadvantage to lose.
He'll beat AJ again in a rematch. Andy Ruiz Ruiz Jr. will beat every
I don't
heavyweight.
know, man. I don't know. Sometimes being, a certain way helps you. It just helps you fight better. You don't know until you get hit.
John Ruiz against Roy Jones Jr. John Ruiz went all the way down to 225 or something like that.
Right, he was coming in at 235, and then for some reason, this is a weird thing. He tips the scale at 226. On the night of the fight, he's 224. I'm like, what?
Yeah, that's
weird.
He said he wanted to be mobile or something, but
Wait, who?
Yeah, he probably wanted to lose weight so he would be a bit
Ruiz.
quicker because he knew Roy Jones was going to be that fast,
Yeah, John Ruiz was a boxer back in the late 90s, early 2000s who actually was the first Hispanic heavyweight champion. I think he was the first one.
Yeah, he was.
Who got absolutely demoralized and demolished
First
by
Latino
David
champion,
Tua at
heavyweight
19
champion.
seconds.
Yeah, 19
Yeah,
seconds.
I
But
mean,
by the way,
19 David Tua was just too much.
Oh no, dude, that was sick. Jim Lampley even said one last sickening look at the finish from the overhead view.
Guys, talking about great trilogies, we had Ruiz Holyfield. Remember those 3 fights?
Oh, come on.
Okay.
They weren't great, but they were trilogies.
I was just joking.
Holyfield was a monster. I don't care what anyone says.
Listen,
All right, let's continue with the predictions. Who else? Missing somebody.
10th round. Remember, I said 10th round. 10th round TKO.
Yeah.
Hey, what did John Ruiz do so well that made him champion? I'm just having a hard time. What did he do that?
Punch and hold. Punch and hold.
Okay.
That was his. That was his
hold on.
1-2.
Let's call this exactly kind of what happened after David Tua fight. He went on more than a 10-fight winning streak against Jimmy Thunder and some other guys. He did earn his shot that Lennox Lewis didn't give him, and I know Stu, you're on board. I'm not trying to insult Lennox Lewis, but that's
no. Listen, mate. Look, yeah, no, look. I'm not Lennox Lewis bodyguard, mate.
Oh, come on,
you've got criticism. You crack on, bro.
Hey, by the way,
Jake,
Lennox Lewis, he says there's no problem with that comment. And besides, that the reason why he doesn't have a problem is because Lennox Lewis is Canadian, actually. He's the greatest Canadian heavyweight of all time. He's not British, so...
Jamaican.
Well,
anyway,
Jamaican Canadian.
we're talking about what he did to get there. I do remember on the undercard to Holyfield Von Bean, he took on Gerard Butler. Not Gerard Butler, that's the actor. The guy's last name was Butler, though, and he was a big, massive 19-1 with 19 knockouts guy. And Ruiz knocked him out, I think the second or third round, which made him number one contender. And that's how he got where he was. And then, of course, he fought a past his prime Holyfield for a vacant belt. That's the history of where he went. He worked really hard to get where he was. I don't think he should have gotten any further than that. But, when you get beat by two middleweights as a heavyweight, that kind of tells you where you rank and everything. But he did earn his shot at that title.
He was a decent heavyweight, top 5 for sure. He was gracing that top 5 there, and he wasn't easy to beat, man. So yeah, that's John Ruiz there. So hold on, just getting back to the Valdez Burchell fight. So recognize you said Burchell 10th round TKO. You said.
Yep, and he's going to get dropped within the first 3 rounds. Burchell will get dropped in the first 3 rounds. Yeah.
Or at least wobbled. You're saying.
Yeah, but bold predictions. I'm going to say, this is for the win. This is for the whole shebang. He gets dropped within the first 3 rounds.
All right, so this is for the
whole I want to ask you guys. Hey, I want to ask you guys a question quickly. Where does this put Burchell if he does get the stoppage over Valdez? Do you see him as one of the top guys, or has he still got work to do?
He's one of the top guys now. I just think that.
Yeah, but the thing is, I know recognize. I know he's one of the top guys now, but not really proved it. I mean, how many times can we, us lot on this chat, can look back and say, "Oh yeah, can you remember that barnstormer that Burchell was in? Can you remember that world-class fight that Burchell was in?" No.
But at 130,
I can remember a couple of stinkers he's been in.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's been in a few stinkers, and he's just not moved on. You know what I mean? He should be looking to fight. Like I said, this Valdez fight, even Valdez for me, is still not one of the top guys for me. I think he's just below that now. I think this guy's just had too many wars, and he looks like he's a bit shot, if you ask me. That's why I'm picking Burchell, based on the fact that Valdez has declined massively.
So you're not going to give any credit to Burchell if he wins this fight in whatever fashion?
Listen, mate, of course I'm going to give him credit because, when you're stepping up to a decent level, then I ain't got a problem with that. I'm not expecting you to fight the pound for pounds every week, but I like to see if these fighters are classed as the top in the division, I want to see him fight the best guys. And Valdez is around that level, so a good win there, and we can take it from there. But Burchell has just messed around for far too long, not really doing a lot.
I think.
You know,
hold on.
wasted a lot.
But hold on. I gotta interject. Butcher, sorry, I gotta interject. Those 2 wins over Vargas, that win over Miura, and the one over Sosa, those are 4 good wins. And the fights against Sosa and Vargas, the 2 fights against, those were entertaining fights, man. Stu, come on now.
Yeah, no, they're entertaining fights. What I'm saying is, a lot of people are classing Burchell as the best guy in the division. I've heard it from a few people. I'm saying I think he needs to go get that. Yeah, I'm not saying he's been in good fights, and that's why I'm picking him to win. If I thought he was useless, I wouldn't pick him to win, would I? This guy is good. What I'm saying is, he needs that marquee fight because a lot of people have picked this guy to be. I remember people saying this guy could beat Lomachenko, and you can remember the dates. You've been here. The people were saying this guy could beat Lomachenko, and I just want to see him move on to that next level where he's fighting the top guys, and then we can take it from there. Valdez. Like I said, Valdez is a good name. He's a good fighter, but Valdez has been shot since he fought Scott Quick, and that's the way I see it.
And we've been waiting for this fight really since. He had those great, that fight he said with who was it again? The kid he took the belt off of, the other Mexican who was kind of shot by the second fight.
Vargas.
He had the wars with Vargas, exactly. Yeah, Vargas. So that first one was great, and then the war. But remember, that was like 2017, wasn't it? 2018, that was a while ago, and I was so hyped up on him. And then he had the stinker with Easter, and then it seemed like he was dicking around. One year, I think he only fought once. I don't know if he battled injuries. I can never know what's going on in somebody's personal life. But it seems like there's been a lull. You know what I mean? It's like been a while since I saw really good stuff from him.
Well, the Sosa
fight,
fight,
where Stu's coming from.
Jimmy, the Sosa fight, I thought was a sensational performance. I thought that's when he looked very good.
He did look good.
And by the way, hold on, before we continue, fellas.
I don't remember.
Watch the fight. It's on YouTube, I think. You can watch the or at least the highlights. But he broke the guy down fantastically. And by the way, fellas, before we continue, because I want to get the people on StreamYard too in there as well for the predictions. Let's go to a phone call real quick. We got 773. You're on the air. 773.
Uh-oh.
Before I get to Adrian Broner.
Adrian Broner?
Stu banned me permanently because I was talking about Josh Warrington. He didn't like that. I said Josh Warrington lost. What a bum. He can go on and on and talk about
you think I really
banned
you for that? I didn't ban you for that.
Bum, this and that. But what I
did not ban you for that. I ban you for because
going to get knocked out. And here he goes interrupting me. He's talking for hours on end, but as soon as I come on here, he likes to interrupt.
Hey, Kevin, I'm looking at it here, and it says that he timed you out. It doesn't say he banned you.
No, he banned my other account, the Kevin from Chicago account. Now every time I gotta log into another account just to come chat.
Hold on,
Kevin. Listen, Kevin. I didn't. There's nothing to do with Warrington. There's a fact that you have become like a parasite that I've just had enough of. And I've given you chance after chance. Everything you say in the chat is about me. Every call you call in is to me, directed at me. Warrington gets beat up. No, he don't. Stuart Little got beat up instead. I'm the one that took the hiding. I'm the one that got knocked out. This is what I'm saying. You have not given it a rest.
I wasn't even addressing
It's been for months as well. Like, why don't you just come on and talk about boxing? Come on and talk to the rest of the panel. Why don't you ever address any of the other panel? We've got some great panelists here. We've got Jimmy. We've got Recognize. We've got the BDO. But you always want to talk to me like some fag, man. Listen, I'm not into boys. Send your girl over here. Send your girl over here, and I'll show her a good time. I'm not into boys. I'm not interested in talking to you. You're a douchebag. And I just don't want to talk to you anymore. Stop ringing in, begging my attention like some teenage lovesick bitch. Come on, man.
Why don't you just hide the chat so it don't get your feelings hurt? You don't have to time people out. They would just hide it, and you won't get your feelings hurt. You think that's a good idea?
Well, hey, Kev, can I ask you a question?
Addressing Stu,
Well, Kev, can I ask a question? Seriously, dude, you claim to be a boxing fan, and I believe you are, 'cause I've heard you talk in the past. How can you say in good conscience that Warrington's a bum? I mean, that's only for one reason. You're saying it because he's British, and that way it's a jab at fucking Stu, which in itself is silly because Stu would be the first one to shit on a British kid. He just likes the fighters. But you know what I mean, dude? And I understand getting a little your rocks off, going at Stu, because, you know what I mean? Fucking whatever. But you can't keep going and going and going. After a while, then it gets to like this.
This guy, Jimmy. This is the thing, Jimmy. This guy comes on, right? This guy comes on and tells me, right, that Anthony Joshua's not a British guy. He's not a British. He's a Nigerian by ethnicity. This guy. He tells me Tyson Fury is Irish. It's always to me. It's always directed at me. Look, I'm not interested. I'm not interested in you, Kev. You're a nobody to me, son. Just if you want to ring in and talk boxing, I'm not here to. It's like you need to get your Stu little fix, or you're like some little crackhead. If you don't get it, you're embarrassing, bro. Honestly, I've tried to be nice to you, but you keep coming on. You're cornball.
Let me interject here. Let me interject. Let me. Yes. Why did you say Bucho?
Go ahead.
I was gonna interject because look, if I let you, Kevin, you gotta listen to me here, please. Because if I let you respond and he's gonna respond, it's never gonna end. Look, I like the shtick that you guys have in the chat with Stu, that you go at him, he times you out, then you come back and everything's okay again. But it's gotta be a balance. It's got to be a balance. It's like, any other character that calls into the BDA show, it's not all the time. Like, you don't hear Vinny calling it, Vince or Vinny the Virus. I forget what his nickname was. He doesn't come in all the time. You don't hear that guy from Louisiana or whatever he's from calling in all the time. There's got to be a balance. And if it's always, fuck Stu, he can't handle it, fuck Stu, he can't handle it, then it doesn't seem like a joke anymore. Then it starts to sound like you're just trying to piss him off for real. So we got to just keep that in mind, man. You got to keep a balance in there, man.
All right, I'm going to respond to Jim because Jim asked me, why did I call Josh Warrington a bum? The reason why I came at Josh Warrington is because he got a gift decision against Kid Galahad. He should have got his belt taken. He got robbed, that dude, Kid Galahad. And then he cherry picks. He could have, you got Shakur Stevenson calling him out. He should have been unifying.
Yeah, but Kid Galahad's a Brit. Why do you keep
no one's
shit
heard
for
of.
that?
You see, look at him interrupted. Look at him. You see why Stu?
Guess what? Listen, let me tell you how it is, Kev. Right, Kev. Let me tell you how it is. I put a lot of hours, a lot of my time and my energy into this show. I care about this channel, right? You're just a fucking chump that just calls in to give me stick because you got nothing else to do. So look, who are you to tell me when I can talk, when I can't? The fact is, I've let you talk plenty of times, and all you want to do is rip me about British fight. I can take the banter, but it's just for months and months on end. It's just all about me. You're like some lovesick teenager, and honestly.
Yeah, Kevin, we'll unblock your account if you start behaving. That's a
Kevin. I think
all right, unblock my account. I'm gonna say, I got one more point to talk about Adrian Broner. I got to finish this last point. Adrian Broner. People are already trying to. Man, I was really looking forward to it. I had hopes up because he made this long-winded post. He said, I quit alcohol. I'm back in the gym. I'm ready to change my life, this and that. And I was fully on board. I thought he was really going to come back and make another run. And now he misses weight. As a fighter, you got two jobs: make weight and fight.
He missed it by 6 pounds.
Jesus Christ.
People are already trying to minimize it, trying to downplay it. The same thing with David Benavidez. They try to downplay it. Oh, who cares? No big deal. Give him another title shot. You got two jobs: make weight and fight. And you can't do one of them. It's a joke.
Exactly. I completely agree with you, Kevin. It's like with Jojo Diaz too last week. He can't make weight. He's 29 years old and he just recently moved up to the division about 2 years ago. You can't make weight. It's like, that's your job.
Did you hear what he said? Did you hear what his response was, BDA?
You know what?
What do you guys expect me to kill myself?
You know what? Jim, you know what?
That's what Jojo Diaz said.
Amateur wrestling. I wrestled. If you don't make weight, you don't wrestle. You're disqualified. If you're a tenth of a pound, you don't get to wrestle. You're disqualified. That's what they should do. They should disqualify these people. If you don't make weight, you're disqualified.
Yeah, see, this is the thing, Kevin, this is what I mean. I know deep down inside you, there's a guy that knows boxing, understands it. And you're quite, you're a knowledgeable guy when you're not being a ridiculous troll. And like I said, these are the comments I want to hear. Talking sense now, aren't we? It's
Hey,
not all
Kevin,
about Stu
Kevin.
Little. You're talking to Adrian Broner is a guy who's a disgrace to boxing. Every time I see his face, it makes me sick to my stomach. I don't want to see him. I don't want to see him in a boxing arena, never mind a boxing ring. This guy has had opportunity after opportunity. He's been fed big fights on a platter, and what has he done? He stinks the joint out every single time. The only time he's been in an exciting fight in the last how many years was when he was on the end of an ass whooping from Madonna, and that is it. The guy, how he keeps this is what I'm saying about boxing. This guy, you got so many fighters out there grafting, trying to get the big fights, and you got this chump. Fucking.
Well, let me ask you something. With
like
Broner,
one
Kevin,
fight once a year,
Kevin,
going out of camp, blowing up, eating KFC, just looking like a slob.
with Broner, let me ask
he's
Kevin
getting
this:
the opportunity.
with Broner, did he change the weight in the morning, or when did they decide during the weigh-in, or what happened?
I'm not sure. I just know he missed weight.
Jeez,
That's
Luis.
how I
I
know
mean,
it. He missed weight.
Just before.
yeah, he's never gonna.
I was fully on board. I had my hopes
He also
up.
moved the fight
He
from
duped me
140 to
with his
47.
Jeez.
Well, I heard he weighed around 146. He was like, so that's the reason why they weren't even going to try. But coming in that he just didn't even give a fuck. That's what that tells you. Listen, this kid with his fucking, my critics can eat dicks with gravy on it. That's the motherfucker who's been eating gravy. He's a clown. He's a fucking absolute clown show. And the fact that he's so broke, not only does he have very little money, he has no money. He just showed his ass up yet to be in court January 29th. And they finally got him to bring him in because he was found guilty. No, he pled guilty to that assault, and he owes this woman $833,000. He hasn't paid a dime. He's been dicking around for 2 months, and then they showed up in the court, and they showed the fucking. On the screen, they showed the Wells Fargo. His checking account had zero in his bank account.
Jimmy, are you the district attorney in Massachusetts or something? Because you've got information on every fucking bro. You know everything. But
I just read a fucking right before the show. I just read an article on. It says like if you go to boxing news if I just punch in boxing noodles on Google or Ducko, I use, and the first ad that came up was Broner financial trouble. I just literally read it.
Look, have you never noticed about Adrian Broner? What he'll do, right? He'll curl up in a shell, take an ass whooping for like 10 rounds, and then look good for the last 2 rounds, so people believe that there's something there and he can get a next fight sort of thing. He cons the public so much. He's happy to be the B-side. You know, when has this guy ever been in a big fight recently and looked like he's wanted to win? Looked like he's gone in there and gave it his all through it. You know, I don't mind. Sometimes a fight will go in there, give it his all. He's just not good enough, and I can accept that. There's levels to this game, but when a guy goes in there, gets paid good money to fucking con a living out the sport, it just makes my stomach curl. And the sooner this guy, let's be real, I mean, this guy, I'll tell you where the levels. This guy lost to Malignaggi. Honestly, I had Malignaggi winning that fucking fight. That just tells you where we are. I mean, I had Ponce de Leon beating him. You know, he was rubbish before he got
washed right now. What you know anything BDA on the Santiago kid?
Was that
you know anything on Santiago? The kid that he's fighting, Santiago.
All I know is I heard from Recognize on the last episode that he's actually a part-time janitor, and I'm not putting that down. I'm not saying being a janitor, but what I'm saying is he's not a full-time fighter.
And he's
31. He's from Puerto Rico.
Before.
Broner's a big favorite. Broner's minus 700.
But here's the thing, fellas. I the other day I said on the last show, I said, oh, Broner, if he gets in shape, and then I caught myself the next day. I was talking with Butch, and I said, wait a minute, why would I say that? It's like with Zab Judah. When every time people say, well, if Zab Judah comes in shape, if he comes motivated, it's never gonna happen with these guys. They're not. It's over. Would you guys agree with that? With Broner,
Yeah.
is it over?
No, 100%.
Zab Judah is one of the most overrated fighters to ever grace a boxing ring. Oh, he looked pretty on the eye, but when it comes to digging deep and going to battle, mate, he was like the French fucking army, weren't he, mate? Surrender with white flags. I mean, look, even Amir Khan hit him with a body shot. The guy's curling around like he's got no testicles left. I mean, it's absolutely embarrassing to watch. Costa Zoo turned him into fucking Jackie Wilson very quickly, didn't he? So I mean, look, come on, man. Zab Jr. The only time I've ever seen Zab Jr. look good was like the last 2-3 rounds when he was beating up on Danny Garcia. It was like he got it. It was like I mean, come on, man.
Hold on.
But
Stu,
yeah,
hold
to
on,
your
Stu.
to point too about
Adrian
Broner,
Broner's a
he's a
four-weight world
disaster. And the thing
champion.
is, he's gonna
Jeff
have to fight
Judith's a
again
world
after.
champion.
Oh shit! I know I was talking to him.
You guys aren't bad
Well, I know
fighters.
I
They
didn't
just
speak much recently, but I gotta go. So y'all stay safe. I had a great time here. God bless.
Hey, take care, bro.
yeah.
The
You
last
know,
time I
Better
see
believe
Broner in
it.
a good fight was when he. The last time I see Broner in a good fight was when he knocked out Antonio DeMarco, and he was about. Well, I think he fouled weight that night. And believe it or not, I think he was like well over the weight
How
limit. He's
long
a
ago was that?
monster.
It seems like it was a whole lifetime ago.
I just came back. What happened? Was everybody silent?
Yeah, look like you went silent for a minute, and I think a few people left.
Yeah, I
there,
couldn't hear
BBA.
nothing.
What's going on here?
Yeah,
Anyway.
BBA, you there?
Yeah,
You
I'm
there?
here. Yeah, I'm here. I'm here. Can
Oh,
you hear
because
me?
I heard a buzz. There was like a buzz, Zzz, like that sound, and all of a sudden
Yeah,
everything went dead
it's like-
silent for a minute. And
No, we're
I thought you
here.
cut me
We're
off.
here.
Hey,
We're here.
can I just say something too, real quickly, about that Broner fight, dude? What's so disgusting? Now, mind you, this kid Santiago, just this kid's so desperate coming out of Puerto Rico to get on television. It's a situation he would never have done. Think about it. The heaviest he ever fought in his life was 130 pounds. They were already dragging him up from fucking 130. He wasn't even a lightweight. He was a super lightweight. So they were already dragging him up 2 weight classes to 140, right? Because 135, 140, to fight at 140. And that fucking shitbag didn't make weight. So now this kid's fighting from 130 to 147. Isn't that's just fucking? That's just egregious.
Gross.
Man.
That's gross.
Well, let me ask Pete because I don't think we've heard.
Gross.
Let me ask Pete because we haven't heard from Pete. Pete, what do you think about that? With the fucking Broner, man, just disrespecting the sport, and it's not like he's well off. He needs the money. He's got like 12 kids. What do you think about this type of behavior?
He probably got an advance from Heyman. He probably owes Heyman a bunch of money, but and that's why they're even bringing him back. Why else would you drag this guy back? You know, when he obviously doesn't give a shit.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's number one. And number two, he probably came down. He's probably over 200 fucking pounds. He's probably 200 pounds. What? Remember before the shit? Remember the first presser for Pacquiao? Somebody had to be 190, 200 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Well, what?
Yeah, but
I don't know why they're showcasing him now.
He's still a name.
Hmm?
Sorry, but he's still a big name. Not a big name in boxing, but you know, outside the ring, apparently he has like a following. So you know, I guess the plan was for him to knock out this guy, have a highlight reel, and then maybe eventually get a title shot. I think Mark on the last show he mentioned that he was a potential opponent for Prograis. So maybe that was the plan. You know, he has a name. He's popular.
Yeah, that's the thing though. He still makes good ratings. He still does good ratings for
exactly
for whatchamacallit, for H Showtime. So it's not out of the possibility that they still think, hey, listen, if we put him in there against Pro Gray, that he would do good numbers. But Matt Chad, you sound like you're an old school type of guy. What do you think about Adrian Broner's lack of discipline and his lack of seriousness in the sport?
I think it's disgusting, to be honest. You know, I hate to root for any boxer, but just seeing the carelessness, you know, he hasn't fought for so long to come in that overweight and for everybody just to cater to this kid. I think Jojo Diaz got docked $100,000, lost his fucking belt. All they did for fucking Broner was change the weight class. You know, it's fucked up. I'm rooting for this Santiago, like you say. This kid's coming from nothing. He's never fought at this big of a thing. It's his Super Bowl, and I think it's Broner's preseason game. You know, it's all set up. It's supposed to be a Broner showcase, so you know he still has the following, and he's still entertaining. You know, he's still a buzz. He's still a buzz about Broner. I don't get it, but there still is. That's the reality, and he could be washed. He could be completely washed, and I think Santiago has a chance to beat this kid. Broner hasn't impressed me forever. When was his last impressive fight? It seems like it was years and years and years ago.
He hasn't won a fight, brother, in 4 years. He hasn't literally had his hand raised in victory in 4 years. And Espinoza admitted what this is all about. Regardless whether he wins, loses, looks like shit, he brings in numbers because he's a train wreck. But here's the thing. It's going to blow up in your face.
Everybody wants to
tomorrow
see
night's fight, it's going to be all Brichelt.
That's the thing, though, because...
You know what I mean? That matchup.
Yeah, it's the Brichelt
Come on,
and Valdez
I don't
show
see it. I think Valdez. No, I think Valdez can definitely hang with Burchelt. I think it's going to be a war. I think he can definitely hang with him, and I just like the way Valdez is at. I think he's trending up. I think there was a lull, but you look at their rounds; they've both been in some wars. I mean, and Valdez hasn't lost, and I watched both their clips, and I think Valdez is going to hang with him. I got Valdez with a unanimous, split decision, Valdez.
All right, there you have it. Hey, by the way, I wanted to say something here because when it comes to Broner, I do give him some credit in the sense that he did have a skills and talent. I mean, think about it. You don't go 12 rounds with Pacquiao without getting dropped. By the way, he did get stunned, but he never hit the canvas. So if he wanted to, he went on the defensive. He went 12 rounds. Now, you wonder, hey. If he could just put a little bit more offense together, or a whole lot more offense rather, he could do some great things. But he never it's not about the talent. It's not about the discipline. Because if you're not disciplined, you don't go 12 rounds with Pacquiao. You know what I mean? But it's just so it's got to be something else. It's the fact that he's not willing to go to war. He wasn't as good as Floyd Mayweather because everybody was always saying, oh, he's like Mayweather with power. And I remember thinking, like Stu said, like if you're getting outboxed by Daniel Ponce de Leon and Quintana way before that, it's like you're not the next Floyd Mayweather. I'm sorry. And right now.
Right.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. 8 years later now, we're seeing where he ends up. He's got a whole bunch of kids. He doesn't have any big fights lined up. He just took this fight. Was this fight on late notice, by the way?
No, he's known about this date since last year. He's known about this date. He was told he had a month in February. He was headlining in February, and he knew about that in November. They were doing interviews in December about how he was a changed person. And my phone cut out earlier when I meant by tomorrow night will be all Belchelt. I was going to say Belchelt Valdez, meaning that fight was going to overshadow.
Oh, absolutely.
But my phone cut out. But I just wanted to tell my bro from Maine. That's what I meant by that.
Right.
Yeah, yes, sir. Yeah, that's definitely going to overshadow that. But it's going to be definitely one I want to check out just for the shits and giggles of it. Like, you know, people don't want to tune in, but I'll check it out.
Hey, now,
I'll watch it on the fucking when it's recorded because I'm hoping this kid from Puerto Rico comes out and knocks him the fuck out. That'd be awesome.
I got to tell
you, it'd be a crazy task considering he's never fought over 130 before, and they having him fight at welterweight.
Yeah.
So 3 classes above his weight class. How fucking disgusting.
Yeah.
Espinoza should be ashamed of himself, putting this kid's health at risk. Thank God that Broner don't fucking really bring it hard. He'd kill this kid.
And remember Adrian Broner was going life and death with Emmanuel Taylor not that long ago. So I'm not. And
Granados too.
And Granados. And listen, that's not a knock on those guys, because those guys are the backbone of boxing. They're hardworking guys. They step in there against the best. But what I'm saying is, look at those guys, the opportunities they don't get. Meanwhile, this guy Broner keeps getting opportunities. Why? Because he brings in ratings? Because people want to see him lose?
Yep.
I mean, it's a little disgusting.
All it is, brother, ratings. Because you know why TMZ keeps putting him on the news when he gets arrested for not paying child support. He's in the rear for child support too, in the tune of over 50,000 right now, and that keeps getting higher and higher. When you start doing that number, put you in jail. And on top of that, brother, even after he clears his money, say if he gives every dime he makes from tomorrow night's purse to the fucking this Bradio's 833 to, that's still not enough. He's still in the rears, dude. We're watching this kid's gonna crumble. He's gonna have to fight again real soon because they're gonna put his ass in jail.
Well, can I say something real quick about fighters though? Because here's the thing though. I know there's a contingent of people out there that think, oh, all boxers deserve respect because they get inside the ring. Anybody that goes through those ropes deserves respect. I agree to a certain extent that all of these guys are doing something that 90% of the population out there will never do. That being said, that does not mean that they are above reproach. If you go in there and you stink out the joint, knowing that people like us, okay, we're not getting in there and we're not professional boxers, we don't do this for a living, but we're paying for this. We're paying for the zone. We're paying for ESPN, Showtime. You know, we got expectations too. On top of all other bills, we gotta pay for this. So if a guy shows up there, he's getting paid for this. He's getting paid maybe $1 million, right? Which is more than a lot of people make in a year, obviously. And they don't even make weight. Like Jojo Diaz. Oh, I'm not gonna kill myself. Then if you say that I'm not gonna kill myself, obviously we're not expecting you to kill yourself, but we are expecting you to give it a good old go. So why should we pay for you if you're not gonna give it your all, or at least try to give some of your all? You know what I mean? It's like that's what I hate when you can't criticize boxers. We absolutely can because we're customers. And the last time I checked, the customers often right. Go ahead, Gonzalo.
Yeah, sorry, BD.
Go ahead.
Even when he gave it his all, to me particularly, his style wasn't like the most pleasing and entertaining. Like the pop shot, 1 shot, 2 shot, imitation shoulder roll. Counter punching style, which you're not offering yourself because you're not willing to risk a whole lot and you're trying to cruise your way into a victory. It's not so fan friendly and entertaining, right? So combine that with the fact that the long layoff and everything else. I mean, he was just never that guy. I'm not saying that he's washed because he's still young and he hasn't really been in like these wars, but some wars, but not like a whole hell of a lot. He was never that fan friendly.
Yeah, well, I mean, he had
it's the weight bully, man.
Oh yeah. That's true. Speak about that.
And that's what it's gonna be Saturday night, tomorrow night too.
Some people never change, huh? He continues the tradition of being a weight bully.
I mean, goddamn, he had to have known a fucking week ago that he was not on track to make weight. In other words, if he comes in and steps up there at 146, that means. You know, I understand Jojo Diaz was over by 2 pounds. Benavidez is over by 2 pounds. These long layoffs these guys take, I can see trying to boil off that last 2 or 3 pounds, and you know it's just not going to happen. But this kid had to have come to, in other words, what I'm saying to you is that morning, they probably said, God damn, you're 51 right now. Or you're 50. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, you're going to fucking blow welterweight. Forget about light welter. So let's just get down below 147 and make an adjustment. I mean, that's way off. That's way off, man.
Yeah, absolutely. These guys know when if they're off or if they're going to be able to make it or not. 1 week before, absolutely.
No, it's a joke. Okay, it's really a joke. It's disgusting.
I just read exactly how this whole thing went down. Okay, here's the situation. This kid Santiago was the third replacement. Okay, since the fucking Broner signed for this date. So he's known about this for a long enough time to have a full camp. This dude was a third, so he's a last minute replacement on the fucking one stipulation. He said he has to come in at 140 because I've never fought above 130. 2 days before this kid is in the town, ready to go, got his whole fucking family, he's got his crew up there. So guess what? If he doesn't take the fight, right? He's on the hook for all that money. He can't afford that. You know what I mean? Like, he doesn't get paid, right? If he would have said, no, I'm not fighting. So he couldn't even afford. So this fucking cocksucker Tells him 2 days before the fight starts when he has him. No, think about it, dude. He's got him, his team on their dime flying up to this place. Nobody pays for that shit. You know what I mean? That all comes out of your purse. And if that fucking wouldn't, so, oh, by the way, know that one stipulation, kid? Sorry. It's fucking 147. Has him by the, what's the kid supposed to do? No. And then, oh, whoever fucking put it on somebody's credit card to fly home. I mean, what a fucking
Yeah, Jimmy's right.
Hey,
Jimmy's
brother
right.
better knock this guy out. If he doesn't knock this guy out, or he doesn't put on a impressive performance, then man, fucking Christ, he needs to retire.
It's a good point, man.
He probably will. I mean,
sorry for getting heated, guys, but that pisses me off, man, big time.
Pisses me off too, man. Yeah, absolutely. It should piss itself. Because look, guys like Jojo Diaz and Benavides, you got to keep your eye on those two guys too. Because already they've missed weight. They're getting paid big bucks, big expectations. And they're not trying. Because at least with Broner, look, it's a scorpion, right? If the scorpion stings you, hey, it's a scorpion. It's like the
my
fable
nature.
of right.
Exactly.
But so you gotta be careful. Like if you keep putting your hopes on Adrian Broner, wow, if he shows up one of these days, he's gonna show up in shape. I think it's not gonna happen. And by the way, somebody's saying that he looks like he's
Oh, he's blaming also the court case. He's saying all the problems outside the ring, the worries about that have affected him. So he's using the fact that he's a shitbag and he fucking manhandled somebody's girlfriend. Because the reason why he owes this woman money, let's not forget what he did. He just grabbed some little dude's girl, bear hugged him, and stabbed his tongue down her throat and held her by the ass like it was a joke.
Hey,
like she was his piece of meat.
He's stealing my
moves.
I mean?
Seriously.
He's stealing my moves. No, I'm kidding. What?
I just, you know what I mean? I just hate when people fucking pick spots. 90% of the beefs I've been in is because I seen somebody picking spots, and you know, I'm talking about random beefs in the streets. I hate bullies, man. I hate people who pick spots. You want to be a tough guy, fight a motherfucker who's gonna hit you back, dude. You know, it just eats me away, girl.
Is that on video? Is that on video? What he did?
I don't know. I have no idea. I just read the court things and shit. Some of the different stuff. But that's
was he grabbing the girl like a six-pack from the ass?
Was she a
nightclub. I guess he had words and stuff.
Grabbing the chick like a six-pack.
I don't know what that means. Grabbing the chick like a six-pack.
No, neither.
He's talking about one in the pink, one in the stink.
I wasn't there, BDA, but I know a lot
of
these
women. Hey, BDA, one in one private part and one in the other. The two fingers.
Oh, okay,
one in the pink, one in the stink.
Well, that's what because people talk about doing the 69. I do the 71, which is like with two fingers up the. Anyway, listen, the point is this, man. We've got ourselves a jam-packed weekend tomorrow. And these guys that can't make weight, no sorry, Bob. Hey, give Tank Davis credit, man. At least he got away from Broner last time I checked, because him and Broner were getting into some shenanigans, getting into slapping people's phones out of their hands and things that bordered on the homosexual. Which again, nothing against homosexuals, but I mean, if you're a professional fighter, keep that shit in the gym or whatever. Go ahead, Jimmy. What were you gonna say?
Can I interject something into that? You just brought up Davis, how he his connection to him. Can I interject this? Also in court, Broner had to say what his money stream is. He says, "Don't worry, after this fight, I'm also getting paid from." He said from Showtime, from Heyman, and from Giovanni Davis, but he doesn't explain what that meant. But he says he's getting paid by Giovanni Davis.
Gervonta Davis or Giovanni? Because
Davis. That's one of his money streams. He had to tell the court where he had money coming in, and he listed Showtime, Heyman, and Davis.
So what do you think he's doing for
Giovanni?
Unless he fucking bought into back when Davis was still looking for money, got him out and drunk one night. You know what I mean? Back when he fucking wanted to drop fucking $500,000 on some gaudy, god-awful necklace. Fucking probably said, dude, listen, man, I'll fucking go to my jeweler, dude, put it on my tab, because he owes a jeweler $1 million. Who knows? And just said, give me a piece. I just want him to have 25% of you. That's all, brother. I'll give you that motherfucker right now. Could have been something as simple as that, right?
Didn't you say that Broner rents a lot of the jewelry and stuff?
Oh, well, most of those guys, a lot of the guys will, Nick the jeweler is the one who makes a lot of these guys jewels. This dude peddles fucking just bright garbage. You need like spotlights on it to shine. Good diamonds you should show in like very dim lit room, because a good diamond will catch light. When you go into a jewelry store and they got floodlights on so the shit sparkles, because it's garbage. All his shit always fucking. Anyways, he's notorious for that. But what he will do is give these guys credit, knowing they'll burn them. And Giovanni Davis has burnt them. Charlo has burnt them. They've all been being sued because they owe him hundreds of thousands of dollars, and it's all gravy to him. But anyways, yeah. So I'm sure it was something along the lines like that. If he's getting paid by him, that means he owns a piece of them.
Hey, that's what Jimmy. That's what little bro means, right? Little bro, big bro, which I always thought was kind of like weird. Hey, bro.
Oh, the jewelry? Yeah, didn't they have that? Yeah,
no, with Giovanni Davis and Floyd Mayweather when he.
Oh yeah. That's well, a lot of that was Mayweather. Listen, Mayweather was shoving that in Broner's face too.
Hey, go ahead, Chad. What were you gonna say?
Yeah, Floyd Mayweather just bought his grandson a Rolex. Took him for his first jet ride. I think the baby's maybe, I don't know, a few months old, but he had a Rolex on his wrist.
Yeah, man. Listen, the
There's
problem.
another one brilliant with money. Hey, he bought a $6 million car 2 years ago. He was forced to sell it for fucking 3.8. He lost 2.3 million on that one car. He's notorious for losing money in those cars. But everything else he has now, they're all leased. He's lost all his $1 million cars. Remember a few years ago they showed him in front of all those jets, those Maybachs, those $1 million. They're all gone. He just showed his.
Jimmy, when you mentioned the jewelry, I heard that nowadays, real quick, that you can replicate you can make real diamonds just the same as like the natural ones, and they're the same, right?
Well, you can.
Can't even tell the difference.
Well, you can make cubic zirconia that can be flawless under a microscope, but it's just not the same thing. You can replicate them, but there's nothing like a million years of pressure on a piece of stone is going to create. You know what I mean? Eventually they will. But but this way, and this we could do a fucking different show for that. But the Bears family would never let that happen. Believe that.
I haven't seen that movie there with Adam Sandler there. What's it called? The Jeweler? Or what was it called?
That was a good flick.
I heard that's good. Yeah, I heard it's good.
Blood Diamond was a good flick.
Oh, Blood Diamond, that's another one.
It's called Uncut, BD. I didn't watch it. I thought
Uncut.
it was boring in the beginning.
That was a nickname I had back in the industry. Anyway, listen, the point is this, man. We used to. I saw a documentary, by the way. We gotta check it out on Second Renaissance. It's about these mercenaries, and these guys that get hired. They're private contractors, and they get hired to fight it out in dark places, man, dangerous places. We're talking Middle East, South America, Africa, and there was this one guy from. I think he was from South Africa, or I forget which one. And he fought as a mercenary, and then they couldn't pay him anymore. So he said, so you don't need to pay me. I'll do this for free. And it was just him in a helicopter flying around, taking on this African warlord, and they didn't have any any artillery. So he would just fly over them. He didn't have weapons either. So he would just fly over them, show them his dick, just taunt them, and they would just shout at him, and there was a price on his. Anyway, it's a fantastic documentary, which is a fantastic story. We got to talk about that over at Second Rennie. But in regards to sticking to the money issue, fucking Adrian Broner, he's not the only one, because we've mentioned other guys like Benavides. No, not Benavides. What was the other guy's name? The guy I keep mentioning, who Frey Roach said at one point was the most talented guy he had. Anyway, the name will come back.
Frankie Gomez.
Frankie Gomez. Thank you, Gonzalo. Thank you, man. Frankie Gomez. Yeah. So some of these guys, like I keep saying, they got all the talent in the world, but didn't really want to be boxers in the first place. And I get the feeling that with Broner, it's that same thing. And I fear for him, because I think once he realizes, look at everything I wasted, it's going to be too late, and he's going to be past his prime. Way past his prime.
Gomes, that Frankie Gomes, you were going to see someday that he's been indicted for trafficking cocaine. I heard he's deep in that shit. I ain't even going to fucking. I've heard that. A few different people have mentioned that. That was one of the reasons why he was making so much bank slinging that he just didn't give a fuck boxing. And it wouldn't be the first, man. I knew a guy fucking Freitas personally was ready to fight Marvin Hagler. And he got popped. We got sent away for trafficking.
Oh, Edison Miranda too. Remember him from a couple of years ago? Big puncher from Colombia or Venezuela.
Yep,
yeah, apparently he was. Yeah, apparently he was running drugs too through down in South America, I believe. I think he's on the run now from the feds or some. I think it's an international organization. I forget, but yeah, he's See, and they got the talent, man. They got talent. They got something like, for example, Miranda had something nobody else had: power, punching power. Like nobody else, and he just boom.
What about Broner? What do you think? He had this great talent, or And I think we saw what Broner had. I mean, what else?
Yeah,
was
but
supposed to, that fight against Maidana showed us who he was. That was his level, to be honest. It wasn't that he didn't lose that fight because he didn't train or anything.
Bucho, I
That
can
shoulder was
safely
a
say,
fake.
I
Yeah, go
can
ahead.
safely say that was the best Broner. Actually, his best performance was against Antonio DeMarco. But that performance against Maidana, he showed balls in that fight. Now, I know what you're gonna say. I think I know what you're gonna say. You're gonna say, well, he had to because Maidana wasn't gonna let him off the hook, which is
He's a tough guy.
right. But he
No,
showed
he's a tough guy. He's a tough guy. And listen, he should have stayed at 135. That was his mistake, I believe, to go up all the way up to 147 just to fight Malignaggi.
He
And
jumped
shitty
over
ass
40. He jumped over 40 when all the current welterweights were at 40. If you guys remember this, like
Yeah.
that was at the time when there was a lot of fucking action at 140. That's why he jumped over it.
Exactly. Because
Well,
at the
wasn't
time,
it? But the reason why he moved up, correct me if I'm wrong. I thought it was just to fight Malignaggi, and then after that fight, he decided to stay there. No,
I don't remember. I think look. There was Pacquiao and Mayweather back in those days, so he was in the same Mayweather camp. He probably thought, oh, one of these days I can get a Mayweather fight. Because remember, you got to remember where Broner was at that time. He was being rated by Ring Magazine, believe it or not, top 6 pound for pound. So that's where the hype was at. People thought he was going to be Mayweather with power. People thought he was invincible. People thought he wasn't gonna lose to anyone other than the top like Mayweather and Pacquiao. And he probably thought in his mind too, oh listen, if I don't get the Mayweather fight, you never know, maybe Pacquiao. Maybe I become such a big deal that I get the Pacquiao fight. And he took on Maidana, and like you said, Butcher, that was his level. He gave it a good old go, like they say in England. But he couldn't he couldn't beat him. Devin Alexander beat
He should have
Maidana.
135 where he had power. Once he moved up to 147, that inactivity, that his style, 1-2 pot shotting, it was gonna work.
Mm-hmm. But he went for like you guys were saying, he went for the money instead of staying 135, like you said, Bucho. He's like, he could stay at 135, and he didn't want to get paid a mil for fighting Robert Guerrero or Katsidis or whoever else was there at 135 at the time. He went to go up to welterweight and take on the Pacquiaos and the Mayweathers. Hey, by the way, who would you get?
Who was his advisor? Because I believe his advisor made a big mistake.
Was probably Mayweather.
Who was his advisor?
Oh, you're saying you're saying Uncle Al.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Or Floyd, one of the two. Look, man, he was a weight bully at 30 and 35. He missed weight at 35 one time. I can't remember the guy's name he fought. He missed weight big at 135.
It was
one time, probably his last fight.
Yeah, it was some Latin.
This is when Danny Garcia and Keith Thurman and you guys were all at 140. So instead of moving up to 140, where he probably would have got his ass knocked out even sooner, I bet.
Mm-hmm.
He jumped over, he went up 17 fucking pounds. Excuse me. He went up 11 fucking pounds, tuned up against Malignaggi, and then went in there against Maidana, thought he was going to be cute, and he got fucking clipped. He came in shape for that fight, too.
Yeah,
but
he did, man. He did.
I mean, watching Broner do the Sammy Davis Jr. was a sight to behold, man. I mean, look, he just underrated Maidana. I mean, the thing with Maidana, right? He's the sort of guy, if you underestimate this guy, he'll find you out quickly. Mm-hmm. And look, Broner never had that heat put on him before. He was always fighting as a bigger guy. Look, most of the fights I saw Broner in, he's always the much bigger guys. Half the time he couldn't make weight. Like I said, the last good performance I see him in is when he knocked out DeMarco, and he was a lot bigger than DeMarco that night. And even before then, I think I had him losing against Ponce de Leon. Like I said,
yeah, he brought similar pressure like that. Stu, Ponce de Leon, rough and tumble.
Never been impressed with Broner. I remember this English girl on my Facebook. Right, she's one of these that she gets dazzled by the bright lights and doesn't see what's in front of her. She was talking about Broner. I remember her on her face. Oh, Broner's going to be the next Mayweather. I said on her state, this clown couldn't tie Mayweather's bootlaces. I go, he's a fraud. He's a Chinese version of Mayweather. That's what he is. Cheap, nasty that's going to break down as soon as it takes a bit of pressure. Look, at the end of the day, I always thought it was coming. And this guy was pound for pound for doing what? I mean, to say this guy's a four division champion. I mean, 4 weight division champion. It's just embarrassing. It just shows where we are in sport. In this sport, man, it's just man.
But see, that's why I didn't even pay attention to the titles because, again, like you said, that guy was a 3-weight division world champ. I mean, come on, 3 division world champ.
And he had to rob Malinaji to get one of them. I mean, come on, man. This guy. I mean, why do people keep believing in this guy? There's a sign of madness, isn't it? Keep doing the same thing, expecting different results. That's what the Broner fans are like. Keep cheering this clown on, expecting him to. Oh, come on, expecting him to come out as a killer clown. No, he's fucking Coco the clown. That's who he is. And he ain't going to do a damn thing. He's going to curl up behind that ridiculous fake Mayweather shell. He's going to get his ass whooped. He's going to take his paycheck. And then he's going to be on social media acting like the retard, as per usual. Come on, man. This guy.
Well, he also lost to Porter, right? I thought that was impressive that he dropped Porter, but losing to that.
Yeah, but look, I saw that. It's not like there. But let's not pretend here Porter was getting up doing the Trevor Burbick, getting up, falling over, and he weren't hurt really. He just got caught off balance. Porter was still, it's not like Broner. And look, Broner, like I said before, Broner only wants to let his hands go in the 10th round. Even Madonna, he was getting his ass whooped, and then all of a sudden he lets his hands go in the 10th round, and he started to dominate Madonna. Watch that fight
Pacquiao,
back.
Porter,
He started to take control over
Madonna, and Ponce de Leon are like kind of pressure fighters. I would include Pacquiao too.
One at a time, fellas. One at a time.
Well, I'm talking. That's all I could say, man. I was talking. At the end of the day, what I said is, Madonna, when he fought Madonna, when he turned it on to Madonna in the 10th, 11th round, he was actually putting it on Madonna, and he was winning the fight quite comfortably. It just showed all along he had it in him. It's just not got the stomach. You can have all the skills in the world. You can have all the footwork. You can be as slick as it gets. But if you don't have the stomach for this game, mate, you're never gonna be at the top. And that's what Broner's problem was. Broner thought all he had to do was pretend he was Floyd Mayweather, be a cheap Chinese version, and that was going to be enough. It was never going to be enough.
That's I agree, man. Gonzalo, you were going to say something too about that? Add something to it.
Oh no, sorry.
You're right, Gonzalo, man. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, just Broner, Ponce de Leon, Maidana, Porter, and Pacquiao, pressure fighters. I would include Pacquiao as a pressure fighter, like an ambush, assault you, and if you give a little, he'll take that. He'll take a little.
Exactly.
Yeah, I see a pattern there. I don't know if this guy is gonna do the same because he's a smaller version. He's a small fighter, I mean, like Jamie was saying. But we'll have to see. A lot of people are hoping that he loses. We'll see.
It wouldn't surprise me if Broner shows up and he just doesn't throw shots and just lets the other guy outwork him or something, and they give Broner the decision. Like, I can see something like that happening. But it's interesting too, though, because
don't you think he's like Danny, BDA? He's very like Danny. He gets all the opportunities in the world in the big fights and just never puts it all on the line. You always feel like you've been conned by this guy when he's in a boxing ring. You feel like he's just giving you half.
Well, that's
of
a
what
good question.
got.
I wanted to ask you because I know you don't. I know what you think about Amir Khan, but when it comes to a guy like Amir Khan, fought everybody, showed up, never missed weight. Like, what do you think about a guy like Khan compared to a guy like Broner?
I mean, it's a different sort of conning, isn't it? Conning the public in different sort of ways. Khan cons the public by making you believe that he stands a chance with anybody. I mean, and that's his skill. He sells snow to an Eskimo, Khan would. A real con job of the highest order. Where Broner is just getting opportunities for who he knows and little bursts in fights that give these retards hope that this guy's going to come back one day and be a killer. No, look. Broner, when he was at his best, this guy's got a lot of talent, Broner. Trust me. I know talent when I see it in a fighter. Broner is a very talented kid, man. Honestly, if this guy had Floyd Mayweather's work ethic, then, mate, the sky's the limit. But this is what people don't realise. People think all they got to do is come out there, put on a shell, throw a slick right hand now and again, and they're Floyd Mayweather. No, they don't. They don't see what's behind the scenes with Mayweather. The guy when he's leaving clubs at 10 o'clock, when his mates are making it rain. he's leaving clubs and going and training, working hard and still keeping in shape all year round. Broner's never done that. That's what I'm saying. So many fake Floyd Mayweathers coming out of America. It's quite cringy to look at. There's no. These fighters ain't got their own identity. There was a generation of American fighters that tried to be Floyd Mayweather, and it sort of killed boxing. You know what I mean? Because let's be real, even Floyd, as great as he is, dreadful to watch at times. You know what I mean? He was never excitement. So, and that's what killed boxing. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, BDA, and I forgot the guy that he's facing. You guys, he's got 10 knockouts and 14 fights. Okay, he goes by Lobito. He's a smaller guy, I guess, but 10 knockouts, not too shabby. And he's a janitor, so obviously, you know that like at nighttime, when the lights are off, he's probably shadow boxing in the hallways of his job, preparing for Broner.
Hey, by the way, shout out to Steve Brown, who just donated with a super chat. And he says, great show as always. Broner is a stain on the sport. And he says, stop spamming the chat, Pigeon. Take your many beef somewhere else. This is a boxing chat. Oh, is he spamming? I haven't paid attention to the chat. Yeah, Pigeon, if you're spamming, please stop it, man. Come on now. That's one of the things that will get you banned from here. We allow pretty much anything, but spamming, I just can't handle it, man. But that's a good point from everybody when it comes to Broner. And nobody likes a guy who comes in here with all the talent in the world and just throws it in the garbage or flushes it down the toilet. It's disrespectful on a primal level. We're all disgusted by it, and it's a shame because Broner could have essentially made more money than he did if he would have just stuck to it. You know what I mean? I mean, how many guys out there never get $1 million payday? Meanwhile, this guy's getting $1 million paydays up the wazoo and doesn't even try to make weight.
And what about shit like fucking the stuff like I just can't get past knucklehead behavior? Having that many kids, that many women, owing child support, but yet you're up in a nightclub fucking going through your stack and how did this get in here? Because it's a $20 bill and you're literally tearing them up and flushing them down the toilet. You know what I mean? Like, what are you, fucking 14? Like, you look like a moron. You know, it's just his behavior out of the ring. He loses convincingly, gets in front of the mic, starts fucking getting all ghetto stuff, talking like a jackass. Just, there's nothing likable about that kid.
Yeah.
Just, I try to find something. You know, look at video of him when he was 12 years old, 9 years old. They had him on the local news. Kid was cocky then. Nobody's ever told this kid no. You know what I mean? Point, and now this is the extent of this. What happened? Jimmy. You give $1 million to someone with impulse control problems who's never been told no. You get a kid's been arrested 8 times, has multiple children, and we all know is going to end up in prison. Let's just cut the shit.
Jimmy, he's not showing any signs of change.
None.
You know,
he's getting worse.
Guy, so it's like, all right, yeah.
He was just put in jail and sent to jail for contempt of court 2 months ago. He went into. He keeps just. Now he's facing the same judge. And what happens, I'll tell you right now in the court system, when you see the same judge and now this judge doesn't like you because you disrespected them on a public level, they're going to make it their point to embarrass you and make your life ugly. And he's at that point with this judge. You can just hear in the language where the judge is talking to him. So,
hey, there's cameras. He's a celebrity in a sense. So, yeah, these judges sometimes use this as an opportunity to send a message, I guess.
Yeah, that's true, man. Shout out to Vince Vegas. He says in the chat, he says, I've seen him roll up into foreign blood doping clinics, though. I've seen him getting bumped up entering the ring before the Pacquiao fight, and I heard about him having USADA in his house fixing his IV score. I don't know if he's talking about Broner or if he's talking about Mayweather, but yeah, man, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if there's some shenanigans going on in there. Listen, fellas, we're gonna cut it here at this point.
I'm gonna cut it.
We're gonna cut it. But hey, by the way, Stu, stay on the line, man. Stay on the line because I want to go over some of the things we got planned for the next episodes. And other than that, man, hey, listen, fantastic show, everybody. Pete, thank you for he left. Okay, Pete, thank you for joining us. Everybody that joined us on the StreamYard. I wish I could have had more time there, but like I said, I'm still trying to fine tune how to do this. Anyone can join episodes because again, we gotta balance things. So shout out to everybody. Thank you for joining us. It's only gonna get better. Everybody who called in as well. Really appreciate it. Everybody that stayed here and watched, all the listeners, everybody who donated with the super chat. For some reason, I can't see who donated anymore, man. Butcher, there used to be a feature here on YouTube where you could go back and see everybody that donated. Can't see it anymore. What is this? Hold on a second. Give me 2 seconds here. I'm trying to Anyway, listen, shout out to everybody that donated. You guys know who you are, man. And oh, that's why we got that's a good thing here. The donors list: Steve Brown, Jason Bornsky, Pete, and OG Boogie. Those have been the top 4 last donors, I think. Everybody who donates, no matter how much it is, thank you guys for joining us, and thank you for contributing to the stream. The paying here, the finances, right? The financial backbone of this enterprise. Thank you guys for that, and everybody who donated, everybody who watched. Pigeon, shout out to Pigeon, Chris Court, Adam UK, Red Glove Militant. Check out Red Glove Militant, he is back. Grievous, Harker Mustang, Vince Vegas, Philippe Courtois, Brian Harkin, Mr. Popo, Ignorant Boxing, Boxing Fan, Vince Vegas, SSB28, Jack Napier, or is it Napier? I don't know how you spell it. Harpo Marks, and everybody who joined us, guys. Thank you for joining us. Really appreciate it. We'll catch you on the next one. Probably we'll do an episode tomorrow, post-fight, or maybe on Sunday, but it's definitely within the next 2 days. We're coming back at you, so stay tuned for those episodes. Don't forget to like, subscribe if you haven't done so already. Donate via Super Chat, you still got time, or the PayPal and Patreon page, and we'll catch you on the next one. All right, fellas, thank you for joining us.
Peace.
Take it easy.
Peace, everyone.
Peace.
Oh yeah, and everybody who joined us here on the Discord too. Shout out to you guys.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to offend you. I'm disappointed in every one of you.
I kiss you on the mouth.
No, I'm not.